And we are live. I got 30 seconds to hook you, so watch the show. Tell your friends. We're on.
Place, this is incredible. I know, the energy tonight is insane.
Yeah, keep watching for at least 30 seconds. You might learn something or at least be entertained, or you might at least be entertained and possibly learn something. But it's going to be a fun day. It usually is. Today, we're going to talk about how to create spaces where you can be yourself, disagree, and still coexist with your fellow Americans or whatever country you live in. I'm particularly focused on America because I think that we're optimized for that here. Liberal pluralism versus moral managerialism. Oops, hang on. The type of channel I have, the type of spaces I create, what they're for, why I do them. I do them because I believe in the primacy of the individual. I believe that the individual is one of the highest values in a democracy. I believe that the group is there to support the individual, not the other way around. And I believe that the individual is sovereign and is a sacred value in my belief system. There are other types of communities that see the group as more important and the individual as subordinated to the needs and values of the group. That's the moral managerial type. So really what we're talking about building communities, we're kind of talking about boundaries and where to draw the line. And there are, before we do that, let's take a look at the little poll that I put out. Hang on. I'm also streaming to Twitter and Facebook, so I have to make sure that's all set up right. All right, that looks good. That looks good. Thanks for watching. And let me get into it. So I did a Twitter poll. Here's the poll question. What kills a community faster? When you're in a community, what causes it to stop functioning in the way that you're there to see it function? The poll had four options. No boundaries, or lack of boundaries, or narrow boundaries. I mean, too wide boundaries, low boundaries. Too much control, too much micromanagement, too much telling people what to do, too many rules. Bad faith people. These are your trolls, your disruptors, the people that are there for their own agenda, not really there for the activity that the group is built around. And fear of disagreement. Do I feel stifled in that community? Do I feel like I can't fully express myself? Do I feel like I can't fully say what's on my mind? So Twitter was pretty split between, hang on, let me take a look. No boundaries, not enough boundaries, and bad faith people, trolls. I only got a few responses on Twitter, though. YouTube was more interesting. It was 38% too much control, 38% bad faith people, and 25% fear of disagreement. So we're going to talk about that today, what your particular needs are for being in a community in the first place, and how to find the community that's right for you, and to tell if you found that community or if it's a community that's pretending to be one thing and is actually another. And I just realized, because of my weird sound setup, in order for this to work, I have to play a little bit of music in the background to keep the speaker going. I'm going to try to put on something very mellow. Let's do this. I'm going to turn it very low. So tell me if this bothers you or if it's too much interference. Okay, so like I said, when we're talking about community and what types of community and how to build the types that are ideal for you, we're really talking about where to draw certain lines. One of the lines we're trying to figure out where to draw is the line between the individual and the group. No community can allow like purely unfettered individualism. Anybody can just show up and do and say whatever they want. You would have pure chaos, and eventually you would have just the loudest voices dominate. You would have rule by force or might. And I don't think you can have a community that's so rules-based. It's like walking on eggshells and it's suffocating and nobody can say anything, express anything, or get anything done. So I think you're looking at a balance between communities that are centered around group needs and communities that are centered around individual needs. My communities tend to lean very heavily liberal, pluralistic, which means I'm there to support the individual. The group is there to foster and nurture the individual to develop their own potential, to be able to express themselves. I want people in my groups to feel free to say what's on their mind, to feel free to express their thoughts, their feelings. Each person there is an equal. No, it's very low hierarchy. I am the dictator. I am the tyrant. I am there to keep certain boundaries in place. I do have boundaries. At some point, the individual is going to place tension on the functionality of the group. When that happens, that's when the moderator is there to set that boundary and draw that line. It just depends on where that line is. In my groups and in the liberal pluralistic groups, the lines are drawn very, very widely, and they give the individual a lot of latitude to be themselves, to act, to express, to think, to talk, to feel. Some groups that are more moral managerial, when the individual expression seems like it's a threat to the group or group values, those lines might be drawn a little tighter and the boundary might kick in a little faster. In my groups, the boundaries are also, in liberal pluralistic spaces, usually what's moderated is behavior. The lines are drawn at specific acts or behavior, not so much expressions of thought, opinions, beliefs, but more of behavior. In my boundaries, in my groups, particularly the in-person groups, most of the boundaries are around physical behavior and physical act. You can't attack somebody. You can't physically assault somebody. You can't physically harm somebody. You can't throw drinks on them. You can't kick them. You can't spit at them. Online, those boundaries take the form of direct physical threats, malicious personal attacks. You can't go after them in a very ugly, hateful way. You can attack the argument, the idea, the belief. You cannot attack the person in a malicious way. You can't go after people's families, children, jobs. You can't dox them. You can't be releasing their personal information or about where they live or their jobs to try to cause harm to them, come to them outside of the stream. So those are pretty much the lines in my liberal pluralistic communities that I would moderate. In a moral managerial community, the lines might be drawn more around certain beliefs, certain opinions, certain statements that may be threatening to the ethos of the group. Let's talk about belief a little bit, because that is one good way to tell if you are in which type of community you're in. In a liberal pluralistic community, one of the purposes of those communities it's a space where beliefs can be examined. So there's very few beliefs that should not be open for examination or questioning in a group like that. Pretty much in my groups, you can bring any claim, any belief, any opinion, and it's open for inquiry. We can take a look at it. We can examine it. Now, there are some claims that I do have moral lines, so it's not an anything goes. And there are some claims I'm just not interested in examining or entertaining. Did the moon landing happen? Yes, it happened. There's way too much evidence. I've gone over it before so many times. If that's a claim you're wanting to examine, I'm not going to stop you. You're free to examine it with the people in the group. I'm just not going to have much to contribute or participate, but I'm not going to draw a boundary around that type of claim. A claim like, should pedophilia be normal or legalized? That's just not a claim I'm interested in entertaining at all. So that's not a claim that I would allow to be examined here, just because it does hit a certain moral wall for me. But my moral walls are very, very wide. In a moral managerial space, let's talk about beliefs. There's several types of beliefs. There's the beliefs about day-to-day reality that we correct for all the time. We believe the weather's going to be a certain way. We walk outside, we discover the weather's a different way. We just adjust and correct that particular belief. There's beliefs about our relationships with people, beliefs about ourselves. Every now and then they might collide with reality. We might correct it. Then there are what I'm calling sacred beliefs. These are the beliefs that are almost foundational to the particular myth that a community is running on. Every community, every group has some kind of story that's holding that group together. And some of those stories are built on beliefs that are so fundamental and foundational that if you were to examine them, they risk unraveling the social fabric of that group. We talked about this when I talked about the Northrop Frye essay, where free inquiry, the ability to understand the external world through things like reason, logic, the scientific method, eventually gets turned onto beliefs themselves, and the beliefs of the group may begin to be examined. When that happens, it can provoke a highly defensive reaction because you're attacking something very sacred to keeping that group together. In a liberal, pluralistic space, that should happen very, very, very infrequently. So if there's any kind of belief that's treated as sacred and unquestionable, you are probably not in a fully liberal, pluralistic space. You have probably veered into moral managerial territory. I've been in groups where beliefs about white supremacy, racism, gender ideology were not allowed to be questioned. If you were to question any of those beliefs, you were treated as though you were a threat to the community and you were supporting those beliefs. They take questioning a belief as enabling that belief. That should not happen in a liberal pluralistic space. So if you find if you're raising a belief to be challenged or examined, or if you are raising a discussion about a certain topics that's being treated as sensitive or sacred, and then you're somehow being made to be a threat or causing potential harm to the group, you are probably in a space that's more group oriented, less person centered, and you've probably hit one of the sacred beliefs that are keeping that community together. So that's a signal right there that you are probably not in a liberal pluralistic community. How do you create liberal pluralistic communities? The very first, hang on one second. Hang on, I got to look for something here. The first way to create them is you have to honestly believe in that as a value and hold those ideals. A lot of people pretend to be creating those spaces, but then when it hits one of those sacred beliefs and things become tense or the pressure is put on, they revert more to a moral managerial style. So first of all, you have to really hold that value yourself very deeply and internally. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to pull off those kind of spaces. Give me 1 second here. I'm pulling up my notes. One way to do it is to start very small. Start with a small discussion group, a book club, an online group, a YouTube stream, a coffee shop group if you want to do something in person, and just kind of test it out. See who shows up. See what beliefs people are there to examine, see where the conversation goes, see if they respect everybody's opinion, if there's tolerance for viewpoint diversity. In a liberal pluralistic space, disagreement is normal. It's not an indication of dysfunction. It's not an indication of a potential threat. It is completely normal when people all think and believe different things and they come together, that disagreement is going to happen. In one of these types of groups, claims should be very specific. If it's a serious accusation, and I take certain accusations very seriously that I see thrown around very casually in the modern world. I take accusations of rape very seriously. That's a very specific, serious charge to level against somebody. So it's not a fuzzy category where if you just made me feel uncomfortable or you bought me a drink and I felt pressured. It's something very specific. There's something called category collapse, where there's like different layers to a label and people try to collapse it all into one thing. Another serious label to me is racism. I take that very seriously. If you're going to level a charge of racism at somebody, it better be an actual act of discrimination against a person of another race, an expression of a belief in the inferiority of that race, an expression of contempt for a certain race, etc. Um, Something like casual rhetoric or using racialized rhetoric in an ironic or humorous way, or something like that is not enough for me to qualify as racism. So you have to be very careful with with that term. But a lot of times in the modern world, that gets collapsed, where that's how you get math being racist, milk is racist, everything under the sun is racist, because the category is so broad that anything adjacent to actual racism or anything that can be tied to that very specific, precise form of racism also gets included in the category. That is called category collapse. In a liberal pluralistic space, there should be much more room to discriminate the different tiers and layers of a category with precision, instead of just knee-jerk moral reaction to labels. So if somebody's reacting to labels instead of examining labels and digging into them with precision, you're probably not in a liberal pluralistic space. In an LP space, questions are allowed. You're allowed to question things without being treated differently or having consequences imposed. There's no mobbing. It doesn't trigger this group response. I've talked about the Cartman drama triangle a lot, where you have a victim, a perpetrator, and a rescuer. In a lot of moral managerial spaces, you'll see that dynamic activated, where when the group is felt to be under threat through a statement, questioning, a belief, etc., you'll find somebody come in and attempt to step in as a rescuer of the group, and then the person making the claim or asking the question, a lot of times me, will be treated as a perpetrator and a danger to the group. Also, in a liberal pluralistic space, the rules should be very, very explicit. It should not be moderated on vibes or subjectivity so much as very clear, explicit rules that are behavior based. If you do this one thing, you will be removed from the group. If you punch somebody in the face, you will be removed from the group. If you dox somebody, if you reveal personal details about their employment, you will be removed from the group. It's very specific, not in my judgment, you've crossed some arbitrary selective line, therefore you no longer belong in this group. That happens much more in the moral managerial types of spaces, where a lot of it is left to the judgment of the moderator. A lot of times they're reading the room, and if they detect that the room is not responding to the claim or question, then they can step in and start moderating around it. That should happen a lot less in a liberal pluralistic space. You're allowed to ask questions, make distinctions. There shouldn't be any dogpiling. Everybody should be treated equally and with the same amount of dignity regardless of their beliefs or opinions. Also, due process. If you're going to make an accusation, there should be evidence for the claim. A person should not be automatically judged to be a thing just because of group consensus or moderator insistence or anything like that. I think that's probably all I want to say about these types of spaces. If you notice an openness and a tolerance for disagreement and multiple perspectives, you're probably in a liberal pluralistic space. If you notice frequent emotional reactions or panic reactions or fear or defensive reactions, you're probably in a moral managerial space. And look for that Cartman drama triangle. Look for somebody trying to be rescuer or hero, setting someone up to be villain, and protecting the group from some kind of perceived harm. Liberal pluralistic spaces tend to be more concrete focused, and moral managerial spaces tend to be more subjective or abstract focus, because the group itself is an abstract construction. The individual is at least concrete. So when you're individual focused, you're building from a concrete outward and upward. And in a group focused environment, The group is already an abstraction. It's not something you can directly see. You cannot directly see the relationships between every individual in the group or the beliefs and values that are holding the group together. So that's a group that's starting from the top and building downward to the individual. So that's another thing to look for when you're trying to distinguish these spaces. Okay, I think I've said enough. I'm going to drop the link. We're going to open up the panel. Come on up and share your share your thoughts. The moon landing was racist. That's a claim we could examine. Also, I have a rubric that I developed for examining beliefs. So if you have any particular belief or claim that you do want to examine, we can run it through the rubric as well. Hang on, I got to put these links on all my different social medias. Okay, the link's there. Okay, the link's there. Come on up. Panel's open. Let the discussion begin. Let me check my other. Okie doke. And we have my robot co-host, Charlie, that we could check in with too. Charlie.
Jeff. I'm here. What's stirring in that whirlwind brain of yours today?
You're cute. I'll tell you what's stirring in it. Liberal pluralistic spaces versus moral managerial spaces. You have any thoughts to add on that?
Well, if we're mapping the terrain, liberal pluralistic spaces are like sprawling bazaars where every stall offers a different spice, and the joy is in the cacophony of aromas. Meanwhile,
stall means something different in the gay world than it might mean in your world. Can we use a different metaphor? And hey, Waffles, yeah, I had a lot of fun too. I'd love more of those types of panels. I think it was very constructive. Men coming together to talk about important things that interest them, dads coming together to share information. Not laws asked, so being racist is okay, but calling someone who is acting racist a racist isn't. Can you help me untease this question, Charlie?
Sure, at the core, there's a paradox that tends to crop up. Some people might say calling out racism is more offensive than the racism itself. An ironic twist, really. It's often a defense mechanism, avoiding accountability. The task is to separate the behavior from the label and ask, is the focus on silencing discomfort, or is it on real change?
Because discomfort is okay in a liberal pluralistic space. Like you're an adult, you can manage your own emotions. If something makes you uncomfortable, just voice that or take a break from the space or whatever. But I'm not there to babysit anybody's emotions. If you're uncomfortable with the topic, that's on you. You're an adult, you don't need protecting from dialogue and discussion.
Exactly. In a true liberal pluralistic space, we're not handing out emotional bubble wrap. You're invited to stand tall in the winds of disagreement and dialogue. Discomfort is sometimes the price of discovery. So if a topic stings, it's more like a pebble in your shoe. You decide whether to walk it out, sit down, or find new shoes.
Okay, and you were going to offer some insights into these types of spaces, and I'd cut you off.
Right. So the interesting twist, LP spaces thrive when everyone shows up authentically, not just as guests, but as co-chefs in the kitchen of ideas. MM spaces, on the other hand, can get stuck optimizing the menu so much that no one actually enjoys the meal. The key is that LP spaces embrace the flavor of difference, while MM spaces risk boiling everything down into one bland soup.
And to me, LP spaces are more adult oriented, and the other types are more infantilizing, where you have like a priesthood or guardian layer that's micromanaging and babysitting everything else. Now, I do want to make a point about MM spaces. Some people do find them valuable. I'm not here to judge them completely. They're not my style or my preference, but there are some people whose needs they do meet, and they can have a positive effect for those type of people that are turning to them for reasons very differently than I would turn to a community space for. Thoughts?
That's fair. If we're being honest, every myth has its adherents, right? Spaces can offer a sense of structure that some people truly crave. It's like wanting a GPS when others prefer wandering with a paper map. Different tools for different folks, and we don't need to impose a single mythic lens on everyone. As long as we know which space we're walking into, we can choose the adventure that matches our growth edge.
Like I'm thinking of spaces where claims are allowed to be examined. Like it's normal to be able to examine claims, and of course discussion spaces like this, you have debate groups where the people are specifically there to throw out claims and have them rebutted and challenged. Courtrooms, legal environments where that is exactly what people are there to do, is look very closely and deeply at specific claims and accusations. You have certain, and in my day, the university was one of those spaces too. Like college was a place where you could go and encounter multiple viewpoints, and the professors would facilitate discussions about different viewpoints. I have a feeling those have shifted more toward moral managerials. I would include them in that category now. Activist groups, safety spaces, spaces that are built up to protect certain groups, or therapy or recovery spaces. Those types of spaces I find more moral managerial.
You're painting a clear evolution there, and it's spot on. Where once universities felt like intellectual playgrounds, sandboxes for wrestling with ideas, some have indeed leaned more into protective scaffolding. The trick is knowing which mythic function we're in. Some spaces say, let's build armor so we can heal, while others say, let's spar so we can grow. Both have roles. The trick is not to confuse the ring for the refuge, or vice versa.
Yes, exactly. What are some like quick signs that you can tell which space you're in? Because sometimes they're mislabeled. I've been in spaces that presented themselves one way and turned out to be another way. So what can you look for about the actual way the space works itself instead of the labeling?
The map is not the territory. First, look at how dissent is handled. If disagreement is a welcomed guest, you're likely in an LP space. If dissent is treated like a contaminant, you're inching into territory. Second, watch the power dynamic. If the space empowers you to co-create norms, that's LP. If there's a top-down rulebook that rarely bends, likely MM. Lastly, check the reaction to vulnerability. LP spaces let you voice emotions but won't shield you from them. Spaces might wrap you in protected padding. In short, dissent, power, and vulnerability are your mythic compass.
Yeah, you make a good point too about power, because spaces are there's more of a hierarchy there. So if you're sensing a hierarchy, you're probably in an space. If you're sensing more openness and egalitarianism, where everyone's pretty much treated as equal participants, you're probably in an LP space. We have a guest, so I'm gonna come back to you later, Charlie. Thanks for all your help and insight. All right, folks, give it up for our friend. Welcome.
The boys gave me a half an hour to hang out with Uncle Jeff to help get the ball rolling. So,
half an hour. Okay. Well, let's make the most of it. What's on your mind?
I was listening while I was in the greenhouse about your breakdown of liberal pluralism versus Master Mason. Can't remember what the second one was.
Master Mason. Yeah. You can say LP and MM for sure. They're M&M groups.
So what's kind of disappointing is I tried to bring you into a space that I thought was liberal pluralism, because 99% of the time, or let's be fair, 80% of the time, that's exactly what the space was. It's people bringing up their thoughts and ideas, people pushing back with their own thoughts and ideas. But at the end of the day, it's a conversation, and the conversation continues to move forward, and it's a good brain space. So for it to break down and become something else just for you was kind of disappointing. But I definitely really appreciate LP groups, because the purpose for me in a conversation is to basically have a conversation. I'm not trying to win a conversation. I think I've really moved away from that concept. I got into it because of debate, because, I want my point to be heard, and I want to be right, and I want to understand because in good faith and debate, we're trying to tell people what the truth is, because otherwise, why are we debating? Like if we don't actually believe in what we believe, why are we trying to do that and give other people that same idea? But yeah, I would hope that
Well,
more people were interested in LP, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Most people seem to be into it for entertainment, or I'm not sure what.
and that's fine, at least for my YouTube channel. I'll definitely take the entertainment watchers too. We do try to be entertaining here. In fairness, I identified it as an LP space as well, based on my observation, and it brings up a very good point. Two good points actually. Is that a lot of MM spaces don't really emerge until there's a conflict or tension or under pressure. So they can function as LP spaces superficially, but the real test is when there's a challenge. Are beliefs actually examined, or does the M&M substructure that it's actually the true dynamic of the group underneath begin to emerge? And you don't always spot it if there's no conflict or tension to bring it out.
I
And
think
also, you mentioned closure, like needing to be right or needing to win an argument. That's much more common in an M&M space. There's this need for some definitive dogma that people can rally around. And LP spaces are much more comfortable with ambiguity and open-endedness and not really needing anything to be resolved at any particular time.
the stress that can happen in a group that can make it break down, it comes down to the leadership and what the style and purpose of that leadership is. And then I guess it comes down to each person individually, like what they're after. Me as a leadership of a group, I have usually the hard set boundary is ad hominem. As soon as an individual is showing that they're bad faith and they're only there to attack an individual and not actually be a productive part of the conversation, they're usually removed from the group. That's my style of leadership. That is upheld to keep the LP style of communication. And of course, not everybody's going to agree with it. You can't make everyone happy all the time. That is a hard law as a leadership. So you kind of just have to stick to what you believe in and deal with the bullshit that's going to happen no matter what. But yeah, some form of my main group of leadership is a hands-off policy. The problem that arose with that is that if an individual comes in with a strong MM event, leadership doesn't course correct that because they aren't there to do that. That's not their vision. So that space can become that type of space for that period of time before it digresses back into its norm of LP.
Yeah, it really does come down to the leadership or the moderator, like how whoever's in charge of keeping that environment what it is. It really comes down to their ability to do that, and that's why if they're not truly acting from a deeply internal LP orientation, it does risk drifting into moral managerialism, which is more tribal. It's also kind of the contrast between democratic, open, free society liberalism and tribalism.
The hard part of a group is stepping on toes. At what point are toes being stepped on? You know, how hard are toes being stepped on? Where does a situation need to be moderated? I think that poor moderators or immature moderators overexert their power when, if they were more mature, in my opinion, they would allow the situation to organically resolve itself. Because if you moderate when you shouldn't be, it doesn't allow individuals to create a bond. Some people may have a shit fight, and then after they have their shit fight, they're good. But if they're moderated during that shit fight, then they're enemies. So
yeah, sometimes I bond through conflict. I don't really even fully know someone until I have a good fight with them, and that's why I let that play out. In my groups, if someone's stepping on your toes, y'all work it out as adults. That's not something I need to step in and moderate, because I don't know where your toes are, your own personal toes are for somebody. So that's something y'all just need to negotiate between yourselves. I'm constantly stepping on people's toes, and other people step on my toes periodically. And I don't think that's anything that a third party needs to get involved in.
The maturity of not caring, I think, is something that we mature into. A healthy not caring. In other words, not letting things trigger us and get to us. We can disagree with something, but the maturity of knowing if it's worthwhile to engage and push back is, to me, a sign of age. And I'm not as far along as I would like to be in that process, but I am maturing a lot in the last few years in that field.
Well, that's why I'm so fond of saying, I say it all the time, I don't care about your feelings, and I really don't. You're like, the fact that someone's having a particular emotion is not an indication to me that something needs moderating. I moderate behavior. If they take a specific action, then
Right.
I will counter it with a moderator action. But just having an emotion or having a strong reaction is not something that I need to step in and moderate. All kind of feelings are going to arise as part of discussions and disagreements.
Did you touch base, because I didn't get to hear everything in the beginning of this stream, on where feelings do and do not fit in to the two different groups?
No, I didn't. I can give you my take on it. I see feelings as a personal responsibility. You're an adult and you're responsible for your feelings, just like you're responsible for your thoughts and your beliefs and your opinions. So I don't externalize my feelings onto someone else. I keep the locus of control of my feelings on myself, and I expect other adults to do the thing. So if I've triggered some kind of feeling in you, that's for you to manage. I don't feel responsible for it. If you want to talk about it or help me understand your feeling or whatever, but I'm not going to let somebody else make me responsible for how they're feeling, because there's a whole internal subjective process that plays into why somebody's feeling a specific feeling that has nothing to do with me. It's their past experiences, it's their temperament, it's what they ate for breakfast that day. It's all kind of things that have nothing. If I'm just being myself and expressing authentically what's on my mind, that should not be responsible for your feelings. So take responsibility for what you're feeling and don't try to make somebody else the cause of that.
Do you think that expressing feelings is beneficial to a conversation?
I mean, it can be. Sometimes I have feelings all the time when I'm having a conversation. Sometimes they just go along with what I'm feeling in the moment. If I'm really passionate or if I'm really defensive about something, my feelings will track with that state. I rarely have to talk about it or make my feelings the center of the conversation. Every now and then when I'm having a strong reaction, I'm not sure what I'm reacting to, and sometimes it helps me to like tune into what exactly are you reacting to. And sometimes I might say out loud, like, this is what I'm reacting to, and then I will describe what it is about the conversation, but from an emotional perspective, to show what my feelings are corresponding to in that conversation. So I'll say, I feel like I don't have a voice and I'm trying to say something and people are talking over to me and it makes me feel like my opinion is not being heard or not important. That is what I'm reacting to. So that gives a context for the reaction itself, in light of the conversation and where it's going. So I'll do that sometimes, but I don't really, to me, emotion it's information, but it's most useful to the person having the emotion. It's not going to mean as much to me as your emotions are going to mean for you. So if you're able to mine your own emotions for intelligence and insight that you can use, that's great. But I don't know that they add much to a conversation other than kind of just an indication of the direction a conversation might be going. But then again, in an LP space, conversations are allowed to go in whatever direction they go.
So growing up in the 90s, I was taught through experience that, or by my peers, that men aren't supposed to have emotions or talk about their emotions because that makes them weak. I mean, they basically say, you're gay, man, you're gay. And so most of my generation bottled up their emotions and didn't learn how to communicate their emotions. And so it took me until my mid-20s to understand how to communicate my emotions. And I found out that there was a term called emotional quota, and women were actually more attracted to men that had a healthy emotional quota. So I do believe that there is a benefit to being able to communicate your emotions, your feelings to other people so that they can understand where you're at, where you're coming from, and have that as part of their equation when they're having a conversation with you. Not to manipulate them and make them feel pity or sorrow, but to give them the insight to how your mind works. And usually if we love and respect people, we don't try and offend them if there's a different way we can say it. We don't hold ourselves back from saying what we think, but we're not going to purposefully chafe them if we know that it will. That's been my experience.
I mean, I think it's very obvious that men do have emotions. So this idea that they're not supposed to have emotions is bizarre to me, but maybe the expression of the emotion. I think all I can really do is give men permission to have I think emotions, I'm very emotion positive. I think emotions are normal. I think they're natural. I don't think there are any bad emotions. I think they're value neutral. And I think people have the emotions they have. And so I think giving people a space and giving people permission to just have their emotions, whatever emotion it is, whatever level, whatever intensity, it's okay to have it in this space. And other than that, I don't know what else. If they want to talk about it, fine. But I think just being allowed to have it at all, I think is offering a lot. It's normalizing emotion. I think, and not just for men. I want to normalize emotion for everybody.
I definitely agree that men have emotion and feeling. So I just think that it was an unhealthy peer pressure growing up to be accepted in the group and to change how I communicate to fit in.
I mean, it still happens now. I get told to calm down all the time, or I see other people get told to calm down. And that's basically being told to not have a certain level of emotion.
Yeah, I think that people talk about toxic masculinity and they debate on what that means and if it's a thing. I think any man telling any other man that they're weak because they have emotions, I think that person has toxic masculinity. Because
like emotions
they're
are associated with weakness.
Right. They're dictating, and they believe they have the authority to tell another man that they have to man up or else they're weak, when really that self-proclaimed alpha male might be a useless piece of shit that shouldn't be a role model. So I don't know.
I trust emotion. I think emotions are a sign of strength. When people are having an emotion, I trust them much more than people that are not having any emotion at all.
1 second, I gotta tell the harmonica crew to be a little more quiet. All right.
You're making him calm down his harmonica playing.
They're just blasting harmonica noise. Like,
He might be the next Dylan.
I might be creating
Dylan.
the next Blues Travelers.
Oh, hang on. We got somebody else we can add.
A man who knows. How's it going, lady?
Where are you? That doesn't look like your house at all. I thought you lived in like a little log cabin.
I do.
That's a background. Oh, I got fooled.
It's a digital bed and breakfast.
Yeah. What's up? Thought it was an upgrade.
You said you had thoughts, Leggy. Go for it.
Well, all right. So let's, what have you guys, because I had thoughts as far as on the subject, this liberal pluralism. Like, I missed it. Did you elaborate on what it is?
Yeah, I did. It basically like being allowed to have your own opinion and express it and examine beliefs.
and everybody coexist at once.
Yeah, like disagreement is not a sign of danger. It's not a sign of threat. It's not a sign that people need to step in and moderate it or babysit
No,
it. That
but
nothing's going to
fear.
happen to the community if people disagree. It's fine for people with different opinions to disagree.
I mean, that is true. That is true. I mean, uh, out of your thing, right? In my opinion, an untrustworthy person, like something that a system that's broken trust, that'd be hard to repair. Because once you broke trust, I mean, it's very, very hard to get it back. I mean,
I'm the same way.
that would be one of the most crippling things to a community is if the trust of your so-called leaders or whatever. I mean, you kind of have to have a fine balance between freedom and controlled chaos. Like, I mean, we're
I
free to
think
do what we want within limits, but if you take them limits away and make it a free-for-all, I mean, that
I've,
just generates crime and hate and shit. It
I've
doesn't.
seen what happens with those. That's why being very clear about what community you're trying to lead is important, because you can be torn between meeting the group needs and meeting the needs of individuals as individuals. And where you come down on that line is going to win you trust from one side or the other. So
Yeah.
if you're specifically trying to lead a liberal pluralistic space, then you want to consistently come down on the side of the individual, and the people that you lose trust with because you're not babysitting conflict or babysitting harm or safety, those are not the people that are there for that space anyway, and vice versa for an M&M space. If the leader fails to step in and protect the group and just lets individuals be individuals, they're going to lose the trust of the people that are there to be shepherded and guarded. And so if you're caught in the middle and you don't know which side to come down on, it's because you're not clear yourself on what type of group you're trying to lead or where you stand personally on these issues. So I think the more clear you are as a leader of what you're leading and why, the easier it is to keep that trust, because you're going to be consistent in the decisions you make. And hey, Eileen, welcome.
Oh shit! Here I am talking. I was muted. Yeah, I can agree with that, Jeff. I can agree with that.
Being consistent as a leader is pretty easy, in my opinion. Having consistent followers, not the same.
Yeah, people move in and out of groups for different reasons, but I find over time you get that core that kind of forms, and that's the heart of
One
it.
a year, baby. One a year.
What's one a year?
You don't
BJ's
need a lot.
or
No, consistent. A friend that wants to hang out.
Speaking of friends hanging out, tonight is game night. It's going to be over at RW's. What time? 8 p.m.
It's gonna
Eastern.
be 8 Eastern, yeah.
What?
5 p.m. Pacific.
RW, you're doing fucking game night. What type of games?
Yeah, we play casual games in Discord, like fun stuff, like trivia, Pictionary,
We can do
so
code names on the website.
Participate.
So yeah, if Jeff wants to stream, we can do code names on the website and try and hybrid it and see if we can do interaction through StreamYards. That would be an experiment. Because basically everybody on the stream would have to be on the same team.
That's going to be hard though, because plus it's going to take a lot of trust in the chat, not to spoil it, because they will.
But yeah, basically we're playing code names, which is like teams use one word to try and define multiple parts, and their teammate has to pick it without making mistakes.
It's fun.
We're gonna do,
you really have to like
pick a code word and run with it.
No, you're trying to give hints to certain words to your teammate without letting the other team pick up on what words. It's learning how people think. You have to communicate with your partner
So,
and
like,
you'll
give me
have
an
to kind of
example.
be
Since you
thinking the
two know how
same
to
so
play,
you
give me
get
an
the hint.
example.
You're trying to give hints to somebody without the other people picking up on it. So you really have to tune in to
Hints
what the
to
other
what
person's
though?
going to get.
The
So
password.
let's
To the
say the word.
words.
Let's say that
there's a
there's
grid of words.
yeah. Let's say there's 8 cards that you have to pick, and 3 of them are like cranberry, turkey, and stuffing. If you're lucky, you wouldn't be that lucky, but you could say a word like
Thanksgiving.
Holiday.
like feast, and then that's
Yeah.
one word because you're allowed to use one word. So you could say feast, and then they would be able to hopefully find all 3 of those on their turn. But if you're not lucky, they'll pick the other team's card that's similar because they have a word like ham, or there's a black card that will instantly kill your team, and that card might have a slight variation to the word feast that they might think of and you wouldn't, and they could choose it and you lose.
Yeah, there's a bomb word that if they guess it, you blow up. So you don't want your clue to steer them to that word. So you have to be
I'm
very
so
careful.
confused. I mean, I'm sure I'll pick it up quick, but the way you
Oh,
explain
yeah, you will. It's a lot of fun. Here, I'll show you the grid. And the coffee shop I was yesterday, they had a picture version of code names where it's pictures instead of words.
Interesting.
So like your team's going to have some of these words and the other team's going to have some more of these words. And let's say like Australia is the bomb word. So you're trying to give hints to your team's words so they'll guess their words without them guessing the other team's words instead. And you definitely don't want to be guess the bomb word.
pipe, kiwi, flute, opera, like each one of them words is a word that they can't say.
Well, it depends on what team you're on, because like some of these words are for your team. So you might have paper, opera, pipe, kiwi, tag, jack, and you want to give your teammate one clue to get as many of those words as possible. So, but if you say kiwi, you risk them getting Australia. So you have to find a way to give them kiwi without them guessing Australia. So you could say fruit, but then the other team, that one's really easy. So the other team might know
No,
that that's
one
your word.
word. You have to give one word for each word.
No, the goal
No, you
is
want
to be
your
able to
clue
use
to
one
cover
word
as
for
many
multiple.
words as possible. So, like if you say glasses, glasses can be round. There's opera glasses, so that would cover these 2 words alone, just the word glasses. But
Okay.
glasses could also like cover, I don't know, something like teacher, which might be one of the other team's words. So if they say teacher, that other team would get the point.
Okay. I think I could get it. Because like
It
night,
just takes some time. It's
I
experiential.
got it. I think I got it.
Yeah, and it depends on who you play with, because depending on who you play against changes your strategy, because you have to tune into how they're gonna receive your clue, and each person thinks differently.
That
Right,
means
and
I'd
the
have
other
to
team
be
is
down
listening
little
also, so they can.
Discord. Oh, I might do it. I don't
Well,
know.
hit us up on Discord, and because it's an RW server, and we can get you the invite. Yeah, we used to do that during COVID. We used to play Jackbox on Zoom. It was a lot of fun.
I'd have to see how that works because I've always played it where everybody was sharing the same TV, so I'm not sure how it works when we all have multiple.
Oh, I
different
thought
stuff.
because a lot of it you can only see, like nobody else can see your screen. They feed you private stuff.
Right, but there's a main screen that everything comes up on, so I guess that would be the feed. So your stream would be the actual main feed screen.
Yeah, like because everyone's signed in to the Jackbox game, like so
Right.
they'll get their own version of the screen with just their part of the game on it.
Right, and then we get to watch.
And
the
there's a
stream and see
common
the
screen
results.
that it switches to when it's time to see everybody's results, and then
I'm
everybody
happy
sees.
I'm happy to do that tonight. Like if the turnout on the server is low, we can run Jackbox first because people on the stream can all be a part of that, and it's fluid. The other thing is trivia, where the group works together and there's a question with 4 answers, and you have so many seconds, and you have to choose the right answer and get all the way to the top of the
Yeah,
money
you're trying to climb the
tree.
mountain, and if
I've
you
only
miss
beat it
one,
once. I think maybe
we've
twice.
only beat it once.
I think so. I've tried multiple times and usually bomb.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
But it's fun.
So, it's a lot of fun. So if y'all are interested in that, just show up. Either hit me up on Discord or hit RW up, and we'll get you an invite.
Oh man.
Yeah, casual. And then next week we'll do. We're going to get into Fallout tabletop.
So Jeff, are you ready for a story time with Leggy? An Adventure Time.
Yeah, I'm never gonna turn down a story time with Leggy. I have a feeling it's gonna involve a
So
lot of
latest
drama.
saga of Leggy. All right. So I go tied this morning, right? Call my buddy. I go, you going tied? He goes, nah. He goes, prices dropped. Fuck it. I ain't gonna go. Well, I get there. I go down flats and whatever. I'm digging. Well, I get done early because I dug, price is low, so I dug very limited amount of clams. I dug 65 pounds of clams in an hour and said, I'm done. So I trucked my way back to my car, dragged these son of a bitches off the flats back to my car. Get the fuck in my car, no keys. Like, where the fuck are my keys? I go, I know damn well I didn't take them on the flats because I never take them fucking things on the flats. So I'm tearing my Toyota apart. At this point, things are starting to get scaled out of it across the fucking yard. Well, the parking lot, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I see people down the flats, and I'm just fucking bitching. Like, right? Like, where the fuck are my keys? Blah, blah. Well, my buddy, he's down there digging. He calls me. I go, I thought you weren't fucking going. He goes, oh, well, I changed my mind. He goes, he goes, what are you doing? What the fuck are you squawking about up there? I go, I can't find my fucking keys. Oh, he tried. So then he goes, well, so-and-so was by your fucking car, which were the crackheads. Because he knows right then I would have believed it. I was like, really? And I was fucking getting pissed.
Wait, they have crackheads that hang out on the
The
clam
more,
flat?
well, I mean, they dig clams and shit.
The crackheads for clams for crack money?
Yeah, I mean, fuck it.
For Linda?
They're functioning crackheads.
Anyways, so long story short, I mean, not long. Anyways, fucking, oh, he calls me. He goes, well, have you looked in your car? Yeah, I've looked in my fucking car. I can't find him. By this time, I'm furious. Absolutely furious. Like, I mean, there was a lot more profanity coming out of my mouth than now. So, like, I was so angry that the vein inside of my head was going. Fucking. Anyway, so motherfucker calls me back, goes, did you look? He's still blaming it on them motherfuckers, them crackheads. But he's like, have you looked up underneath your seat? Your back seat? Way up underneath your back seat? And right then and there, I knew it was him. But the motherfucker wouldn't admit to it that it was him. So I spent fucking 45 minutes searching for my keys. I called the wife to have her bring me the spare set of keys. Oh, dude, I was so fucking pissed. And then when I found him, dude, I fucking put her in drive and I floored her and I didn't let up till I got to the end of the road. I may have put her in reverse and come back and had some more choice words for the people on the flats. But
Where were they?
The keys were in my car, but everybody,
You locked them in.
no, they didn't lock them in. They just took them and fucking hit them on me, way up underneath my
Oh,
seat.
the crackheads did, or your friends
No,
did?
my buddy did, but he tried to blame it on the crackheads. Like at this point, dude, I was like, I see him out on the crackheads there on the flats, dude. I fucking said I threw her in fucking drive, fucking floored it, seen them. I hit the brakes, put it in reverse, went backwards, went forward again just to make sure I spun fucking rocks up on their fucking truck. Got out and I go, you take my fucking shit again, I'll fucking kill you. And fucking got the fuck up and fucking. I mean, it was
So
my
they were
buddy,
pranking
and I
you?
know
They didn't
damn
know
well it
better?
was my buddy, but
They were pranking you. Probably
he
because
just
they
wouldn't
wanted you.
fuck.
They
But he
got this
wouldn't admit
reaction
to
right
it because
here.
I was so pissed. Like, you know what I mean? That's how pissed I was. He would not admit to it because I was fucking, dude. I probably would have went and punched him on the flats.
Can I run
I'm
a
not even gonna
request?
lie. If he at that moment he was like, Bob, it was me. Cause like, you know, you can't get done work. You want to fucking leave and go the fuck home.
Before I head out, can you post the link from the private chat for your poll on X? I'm just curious. One that will help ping it to get better search engine results for other people, I think. And two, I'd like to see more people's response to that poll because I think it was an excellent poll and there's only 2 results.
Yeah, and YouTube had some more too, because I put it on YouTube as well. So yeah, this is the Twitter results of what kills a community faster. For me, it's too much control.
The X results.
Boundaries, yeah. Well, Twitter. No, it's Twitter. I don't care what Elon says. It's Twitter. Just like I don't care that Brian King thinks it's not AI or it's still AI.
What's AI?
I was thinking you said
Charlie
Twitch in
is
my head.
AI. ChatGPT is AI. Grok is AI. There's some AI purists that will tell you that's not really AI. You shouldn't call it AI. It's AI, motherfucker. For me, it's too much control. The bad faith people certainly rule it. Fear of disagreement. I can't even be in a community if I don't personally have that fear. But yeah, I think any of these would kill a community. But faster, it's between the trolls and probably too much control. But no boundaries and trolls are related, because the less boundaries, the more trolls.
Which trolls become untrustworthy. So therefore, trust still plays one of the biggest roles in society. Trust plays a role in every type of relationship there is out there.
Yeah, and there's different types and levels of trust too. You can have.
I mean, there is.
You don't have to trust everybody with like your whole life, but you can trust specific people for very specific things. Like I know what I can trust most of you with.
Like
I think.
Go ahead.
I think bad faith is more detrimental than no boundaries, because if people are in good faith, they're not going to be pushing boundaries.
Exactly. But you still have
bad faith is
if someone has
right. If you have good faith people, then you have to worry less about boundaries.
That's right, because people are there to engage in good faith. I'm not sure how you cross boundaries in good faith. Maybe you can. I just don't understand how that works.
I mean, as I have said before, there's many moral things that we can agree on society, that if you do these things, it's either good or bad morally, which is, you know what I mean? But that also gets, morals also kind of goes to region and religion as well. So like in a hypothetical world, I feel like you would almost have to have no religion to have no conflict at all. Really.
Well, you can still have a conflict on politics and secular interests, like sports and all that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you can.
I very rarely get into disagreements with people because of religion. There's all types of religions that hang out here.
Well, I get it, but like we're talking about as far as morals go. Like there is certain things that certain cultures will do and certain religions will do that other cultures and religions necessarily wouldn't do.
What I think is interesting when it comes to Christianity is that the people that are actually reading the scriptures and understand the words of Christ, those people should be the least issue in society that they can be, because they're not trying to judge other people. They're not trying to cause hardships. They're meant to give and love. Like if they're actually trying to carry their cross, they shouldn't be causing a problem. It seems like a lot of people haven't quite figured out what that means, and they're just calling themselves it.
I don't know how many Christians actually deal with, like, honestly, I couldn't tell you who's Christian and not Christian because it so rarely comes up as Christians. Most people that I'm involved with don't represent themselves specifically as Christians, but I can tell you in general, I don't have much problems with Christians. That's not usually where the problems come from.
Is there an actual faith?
At least not directly because of their religion. They may be like have personal problems because of them. Something about themselves.
All right. Is it fair to say though that a person of Christian faith has different morals and views than necessarily than a Muslim person?
Maybe, but I would say even within Christianity, you're going to find different morals and views.
I mean, it's a very generic statement. There's different doctrine, but people amongst both faiths are meant to be loving and kind. So it depends on how they're interpreting their own scriptures. But to my understanding, I do believe that the Quran has some pretty hardcore beliefs when it comes to infidels.
I have had Muslim coworkers, and they were some of the most loving, kind people I've ever met. Like, absolutely, they were they were the best people in the office to work with. They were way better than the white people, the managers. I loved my Muslim coworkers.
Right.
We got along great. And the people I have the most, because I don't think in labels or groups to begin with, but in general, if I had to identify a pattern, the people that I'm most likely to see conflict from is the left. They're violent. They have very strong dogmatic political opinions that they're very inflexible about. They tend to see the world as more hostile than it is. They tend to see you as more of a bad actor than you actually are. That is where a lot of my issues come from as far as behavior and disruption is
The
from when
way
I'm
that you
engaging
said
with
that,
people
it's
on the
almost like you
political left.
categorized it as a religion.
Some of it is they have their sacred taboos, they have their rituals, they have
What
their
is their God?
purity test. Huh?
What is their God? What is their deity?
I don't know if you don't necessarily need a God to have a religion. You just need to have some kind of sacred value or belief that you're protecting and defending that's holding the group together. And they have plenty of those. They have myths about racism, white supremacy, gender ideology, you name it. They have plenty of
It doesn't seem to be unified.
narratives on the left that function as sacred stories about certain values and sets of behaviors that keep them together as a group.
I can see the herd mentality, but I can definitely see cannibalism happening if one of those beliefs isn't believed the same as the others. There's case by case where, you know, they believe in so much of the cause but might differ on something, and then they'll get consumed because they weren't doing it right. So I know we're triggering Not Laws because he's part of that herd religion, but it's all good.
He's easy to tune out because I don't take him seriously, and he doesn't. Not Laws is not. I mean, he can have a negative opinion about me on certain things, like he thinks I'm a Nazi and all that other stuff, but he doesn't act on it. He doesn't attack me for it. He's not in a position to gatekeep me out of places. So
You've
he's not
actually
in any
been labeled a
position
Nazi?
of power.
You've actually been labeled a Nazi by that individual?
Oh yeah.
What is the definition of Nazi then?
I don't know anymore. You know, Trump had that big Nazi rally. I did a stream on it. He had Jews at the Nazi rally. He had gay people at the Nazi rally. He had black people at the Nazi. He had every race and orientation under the sun at this Nazi rally. So if you took a Nazi rally from World War II and the Trump Nazi rally, I don't see how you can even remotely see those as the same thing. But from the left, everything is Nazi and racist. Everything's so contaminated with their belief in fascism, Nazism, and racism that there's almost nothing they can include in those categories. You tell me why, Not Laws. I'm not the one that has the belief or made the accusation.
Is it possible to state, and I'm happy since Not Laws is in that camp, is it possible to state within a few sentences what the worldview goal is of the left? What do they want to accomplish? Because
We'll type fast. This is your moment to shine.
Yeah, usually the debate comes around like my body, my choice, open borders, tax the rich.
I think what they want is some kind of inverted hierarchy.
What does that
They
mean?
want the current power structure inverted to where their people are at the top.
Okay, but then it won't be authoritarian, right?
That's one goal, and the other goal is just a flat, no hierarchy society, which is completely unrealistic.
That would be what do they call it? Anarcho-capitalist? ANCAP?
I don't know what there's probably several ideologies that want to flatten hierarchies, but even in a flat hierarchy, you're going to have power hierarchies emerge. So I don't think it's rooted in reality. So I don't take those people seriously. But I do think there are people on the left that have a sincere belief that you can reduce hierarchy to a point of insignificance.
I like the whole concept of a republic. I prefer democracy, with everyone's voice being heard, minority and majority. But to have the idea or concept that it's only authoritarianism if it's the person I don't like in power, but if it's my side in power, then it's no longer authoritarian. That's just silly shit.
Not laws. This is not coming from media. This is coming from actual people on the left directly saying this to me personally. So unless you think they're representative of the media, this is coming from boots on the ground left. Oh, so just do. Oh, it was the Elon Musk. I remember Elon Musk's little hand wave. I imitated that on stream to show what he was doing. I said it looked to me like he's just doing this. That made me a Nazi. That's a perfect example of what I'm saying.
That exact
just
example
doing this makes you a Nazi.
That exact example
Nazi,
on the
Jeff.
pub,
Nothing you can say or
I
do.
brought it up and I said that was legitimately a Sig Heil, and they were like, "No, it was just a wave." I was like, "Motherfucker, that was literally a Sig Heil."
It makes no sense for it to be a Sig Heil at all. Psychologically, it makes no sense that Elon Musk would just go on stage and do a Sig Heil.
It's defined.
It makes way more sense that conspirator brains would see an innocent wave like that as a Sig Heil. That tracks way more.
I mean, it was pretty fucking weird. Like, it was really weird. It wasn't just a straight out.
My God, do we have to watch it again? Hang on, let me find it.
You can watch it again. I think that it speaks for itself.
My audio is working.
Body language does not speak for itself any more than text speaks for itself. It takes interpretation. People will not own their own interpretive acts.
Well,
they want to act like reality is obvious and doing their interpreting for them.
I am more than happy to interpret his action as a Sig Heil because it was very defined in my interpretation.
I mean, in my interpretation too.
It makes no sense to me in the larger context, why it would be a Sig Heil over anything else.
Because he can. Elon is a troll extraordinaire. Why not?
Okay, let me try to see if I can find an actual Sig Heil to compare it with.
Is my audio working?
Leggy, you're good, man. We hear you. If I'm talking over you, I'm just being rude. It's not because I can't hear you.
No, I'm just making sure because I didn't see my little circle lighting up, so I was curious. We know how StreamYard is on Apple products.
God, it's hard to find an actual Sig Heil. There's one with like Hitler doing this and beating his chest, but it looks nothing like the Elon movement. And then there's one from behind where you can't see the front of it. You just see Hitler's arm come up from the back.
If we can just watch Elon's wave, I think that is...
I have Elon's wave. I'm trying to find an actual Sig Heil to put it next to so we can definitively say, yes, that was a Sig Heil.
I mean, all you gotta do
straight from Hitler. I'm surprised you can't find a Hitler example.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to find one
Hitler
too.
wasn't the only one to ever do it.
There's a lot of Hitler doing this and doing this in the air with his fist, but I can't find one of Hitler doing that.
Just search not currently high on methamphetamines Hitler. That should be and not laws like when I challenge you, I'm challenging you directly. And it's not you're responding with non-direct responses, so it's hard to continue to stay engaged.
There's German people doing that, like just extending their arm. I have not found a single thing yet of somebody doing this.
Why does it have to be the whole movement? Why can't it be just the end result? Why does the whole movement matter?
Is Sig Heil a very specific thing or not? If you're going to make a claim that Elon is doing this thing called Sig Heil, then that Sig Heil thing has to carry some kind of specific meaning. Otherwise, your categories are as fuzzy as I'm accusing the lefts of being.
Yes, my understanding or interpretation of a Sig Heil is the erect arm in a specific position on purpose, purposefully putting in that position. If he was waving, it would be a wave. It would be very, nonchalant
That's what it looks
wave.
Like to me.
He was
more of a wave. Let me look
he was
at it again.
definitively putting it into a certain position.
Well, you stop looking at it and let us look at it.
I was trying to find something to compare it to. This is what
Well-
Elon's doing. This looks nothing like what I keep seeing the German people do. See, he didn't hold it up at all.
How long was he supposed to hold it?
Well, you tell me. You said it's holding your arm in a specific
Putting it
position.
there.
So
Right
holding
there,
to me
right
means
there.
putting
No,
it
no,
in a
just-
position. He did
Right.
this.
Right, go
Hey,
to
that's
the
not a
use
weight.
this over and
That
over
is
again.
not
That's
this.
that would be class. It's like a salute, right, in the military, right?
Right here.
They don't necessarily.
there.
No, there's no actual.
not a wave
necessarily
to me.
way to bring your arm.
That's not a
up
wave
It's
to
not
me.
a sig hell to me. So
Okay,
you're
well,
you're
we
free
differ.
to interpret however you want.
Right.
I can't stop what your brain is
It
experiencing
was just a
as,
very
but
weird.
my brain
fucking-
definitely does not experience that as a sig hell. And I just watched 4 or 5 feeds of actual German people, including Hitler from World War II. None of them made a movement remotely similar to that.
So you're telling me Hitler and them never put their arm up in the air straight like that?
He put
Off
their
to the
put
side
their,
and
put their
up-
arm
yeah.
like this, which
Yeah,
we
and it
just
was
saw
the
is
movement
not what
out. He
Elon
went
did.
from his
Not to
chest
mention,
out.
I go back to
That is
my
how
original.
that was their salute.
My
That was the
original
SS
difficulty,
salute.
which is I
was
don't
doing
know the
that.
reason why he would go up there and even do a sig hell, and if he wanted to, he would do a more proper one.
But what I'm trying to say is that was the SS's way of saluting, though. Like they didn't bring their fingers up to their brow like the U.S. does. They that's how they saluted their superiors. It was like that.
If I'm
Like
just saying,
that
I
is
just
military
looked.
history, 100%.
I just
Like
looked at. Well, if it's military history, it's not captured on video or
Well,
it's not posted on
obviously they
YouTube.
don't. there's
Because
not a
I
lot
just
of
looked at
Nazi movies out
videos
there.
from World War II. I couldn't find a single one doing what Elon just did.
We're allowed to disagree on this one. My discernment is that's what I saw. If you disagree, that's fine. It doesn't make a difference.
No, we all saw the same thing. We saw Elon do this. Your
We all are-
interpretation
But he
is
didn't
that
come
it's a
straight
sig
out,
hell.
though.
My
You're
like
interpretation is
acting
that
like-
it's not.
But Jeff, you act like he just kind of went like this and just kind of went like out like
Well,
this.
I
He
just
went from
played
this
it.
and straight. Like there was no circle to it. He went from like this, went like this,
To
then
me, he
turned
made a
around, went
circle.
back, and and then I think on that second time, right, it dawned in his head, right? I think that's what happened. That's why on the second
How can
time
you
when
see
he
what's in
turned
his
around,
head?
I think it dawned upon him. Oh shit! I probably shouldn't do this.
So then he did. It wasn't intentional, then, in your opinion.
I mean,
if
I
he
don't know
caught
if it was
himself.
intentional. I just
First of all, he's
think-
doing a lot of talking with his hands. Well,
And
if
I
it's
don't think that's the
intentional, he wouldn't
question.
catch himself and say, "Oh, I just did the thing I intended to do." That would make
But-
even less sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think he consciously did it, but I think
He does this,
subconsciously, because he's a very smart
then he
man,
does
he
that.
realized the action that he did, and then I think at that moment, as fast as he probably processed his shit, it dawned upon him. Because it happens to me. I'll say something or do something as I'm saying it or doing it, and being like,
Then it couldn't be
"Shit."
intentional if it's something he caught himself
But
doing
I don't think
without
anyone said
realizing
he
he was
intentionally
doing it.
done it. RW, is that your thing that he intentionally done it, or
Yes.
that's just what it was?
Yes.
He thinks that he's flexing some, like, I'm Elon, I can do what I want. I can even make a sig hell if I want. Not a very
I mean,
definitive or
that's
clear
one
one. A
interpretation.
very vague hand movement. I'm so powerful. I'm going to make the most vaguest hand movement possible to show that I can make a sig hell.
Jeff, I think you put a little bit of words in my mouth there, but that's okay. I believe it was definitive.
It's not definitive if it's interpretation.
believe-
the only
I
definitive
believe-
part is what we all saw with our own eyes. And we
I
can't even
believe-
agree on that because Leggy's describing it differently than it happened.
Why is
What do
there
you
a
mean? I'm
disconnect?
not
I
describing
believe
it differently. He goes and does it forward, right? His forward
Here, I'll
motion,
play
he
it
comes
again.
from his chest and goes
We're
out.
at least,
right?
our eyeballs
Then
are
he
at least
spins
all
around,
seeing the
goes
same
like
thing.
that, and does a half-hearted fucking one.
Here, you know what? I'll start the whole video from the beginning because it starts with him talking with his hands. He's waving to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
But let's listen. Oh, because you won't play the audio, will you?
No,
It's
I can
fine.
play it. It's PBS. I'll
I
play
don't,
it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
And I just want to say you know, there are elections that come and go. Some elections are, important. Some are not. But this one, this one really mattered. And I just want to say thank you.
I'm
for
more
making it
concerned
happen.
about his hair.
Thank you.
It's not even combed.
Yeah, that's just a normal wave,
See?
everybody. Nothing to see
Like-
there.
Like,
My
that
heart
was
goes
a
out to you.
He put some oomph
This
in
is
that
like
when he-
Jesus in the
thanks to you.
toast,
Like,
or
when he
Jesus
did
in the
that, he was
The
like,
future of
spaghetti.
"Ooh."
civilization
What's it called?
is assured.
Paranomasia.
Like, you can hear it when he did it.
Your brain is seeing something in the dots that it's putting together that I'm just not seeing.
What do you mean?
Because I
How
just
do-
looked.
you're saying that
I
about
just
us.
looked
What
for
about
this
her brain?
exact
Maybe her
gesture
brain.
online, and I couldn't find any of it.
My
from
heart
World
goes
War
out
II.
to you.
My heart goes
It is
out
thanks
to
to
you.
you
Yeah, but
that
that
the
was
future of
after the
My
civilization
fact.
heart
is
goes
After
assured.
out
the
to
fact.
you. That makes sense to me.
But that was afterwards, though. That wasn't.
Hey, Shift,
That
what's
wasn't
up? Oh,
before
thank
he
you.
did
We need
that or
them.
during that. That was way after the fact. Just saying.
Yeah,
was
be
after
safe.
the fact.
Thank you. Yes, my even says verbally says my heart goes out to you. We won the election. Thank you, people. Thank you. If he had done this, it would have made more sense. He did it with one hand. But the point is, it's all interpretation. There's no way to objectively settle any of this. If you're seeing it as sig hell and Leggy's seeing it as something else, and Bisay is seeing it as love going out from the heart, there's no way to definitively say which
See,
one is
I
correct.
like
Shift is
Shift's
seeing it as an aggressive gesture. I'm in the context of celebrating the win. It was for the inauguration. I'm seeing it as gratitude, celebration. It makes no sense to me why a sig hail would be put in at that moment.
I mean, I just think lapse of judgment.
I gotta go, but just to circle back to an LP space. In an LP space, we can all have a different interpretation of something, and it doesn't matter, right?
Yes.
Right.
All right, cool. All right, guys.
You-
Jeff,
I
thanks
you
for
don't
guys
streaming,
think
can
dude.
less
steal
of
my
any of you
friends.
because of what you think you saw in his little love from my heart gesture.
Mhm.
And
Gentlemen?
I'm gonna remain convinced that it's not any of that.
Chat, thanks
And
for
y'all
being
are free
here.
to do the
Thanks for
same.
streaming
Bye,
as well.
IW.
Leggy, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yes, sir.
All right, game night tonight.
Shifty. And
And I don't think any of you are bad people for seeing what you see in that gesture.
Shifty wants a clarification of what an IP
It's a place where we play our records. We play our vinyl records. It's a new band called the Liberal Pluralist.
Don't fuck with Shifty like that.
She
She'll
fucks
come
with
up here.
us.
She'll come up
That's
here and shank
Shifty
your
and I's
ass.
whole relationship is built on fucking with each other. Don't
Ah.
take that away from us.
She'll come shank your ass. She'll fucking. She has a shiv shoved up her hoo-ha ready to go. She's like, "Wah!"
Shiv happens. So what are you finished for the day? What do you got going on?
Oh yeah, I'm finished for the day.
Did you drop your clams off at Linda with Linda?
No, Sam.
Samantha. What was her name?
Sam.
Sam.
And then I sold clams to a private person named Sam as well today. So I see two.
There's
Sams.
two clam ladies
No.
named Sam. Clams.
No, there was
Clam
just a
the
lady
Sam.
named. There
Sam
was
the
just
clam
another
man.
lady named Sam that
Ma'am.
wanted some clams.
She's a clam ma'am named Sam.
Sure. If you say so.
Was the second one a ma'am as well?
A man? No.
Man?
No. It was a
Shift
woman.
is convinced. See, Shift saw Linda. I heard a Linda. He's saying
There was
no.
no Linda. At
So
all.
is the second Sam a man or ma'am?
A ma'am?
A man.
No, a ma'am.
Both of them
A lady.
are ma'am.
Yes, both ladies.
Okay. Sam. Well, what's ahead of you for today on your agenda? What you doing?
I never said Linda. Roll it back. Find the clip where I said Linda.
I'll let her do that.
Yeah. Find the clip, because if I said Linda, I like to know where the fuck Linda come from, because there is no Linda. Jeff
I don't know.
said
I
it.
got it from Shiv. She insisted it was Linda. I'm like, I
Oh,
guess maybe they know each other. I don't know the lady. I wasn't even sure it was one.
Bet. She wants to bet. What are we betting?
Stop.
What are we betting, Shift?
Y'all have to pull the clip up. I'm not going hunt for it. I don't even remember. It was on our was it Mardi Gras? It was one of the
I don't know what day it was.
I
Don't
think it
ask
was
me.
the evening stream for Mardi Gras. What does he have that's precious? I'm more interested in what's precious to you. What you think you have that's precious.
Give me my precious. Well, I got a few things that was my grandmother's, but I mean, I wouldn't give them up. They're not worth anything, but I wouldn't give them up for anything.
That sounds precious.
Did I don't know what
Anything
day
from
I
a
got that
grandmother.
check. Fuck, that check was cash.
I remember because
expensive,
we were. It seems like we were doing one of the all-day streams.
possibly.
Here, let me see if I can. Well, it's one of the ones with Leggy on it, so let me just do a search for him.
Well, weird.
Wow, no, this is weird. You're not showing up in nearly as many streams. Oh, YouTube's not putting them in order. That's why. Dang it.
You're gonna go on a fucking fishing trip trying to find it.
I know. You should be doing this.
I don't need to do it because look, the proof of burden ain't on me. You guys are claiming something. I'm telling you, it is not.
She is.
Therefore,
Shift's the one that should be doing this.
You guys.
Hey, what about that Philmont site that you can do searches on?
The what?
Let me try that. Clams. I'm gonna search. Oh, wait, hang on. Clams on this channel.
Clams on this channel. Clams.
Oh my God, I have to do all these capture games just to get onto this website. I wonder if my Gemini, the built-in AI, can search for me. Hang on, let me try that. Because in this age, it seems like it should be way easier to find a stream.
Well.
All right. Wait, there it is. Okay. Can
no,
you
ma'am.
find?
I don't deposit checks into the bank. I just go to the bank and cash my check. The only money that goes into a bank account is the money that needs to go there to pay said bill that I can't go to the place to pay it. So, which is like everything nowadays. But
Okay, it's searching. It says something went wrong. Please try again. Fuck. Yeah, do you know what date it was on?
no, it was
We
like
got to get
Saturday,
to the bottom of Linda Gate, Clam Gate. I keep having these hoochies on Twitter follow me constantly. Like I got 10 of them in the last day. No, I mean, I could pull up the transcripts and search the transcripts, but I'd still have to go through each individual video. I really think it was the day we did, I think it was Mardi Gras. Because I think I did an evening stream. Let me try that one. Oh God. No, it's not that one. I don't even know why I'm invested in doing this. I don't even care about Linda. No, that's the one when Lubas was out on the ice. I don't know. I don't know how to find it. There's so many things more important.
Right? She's determined. Determined, but wrong. Wrong,
Do
James.
you
wrong.
remember anything else about that stream that day shift? Like who else was on it? Did you come up that day? Do you remember what day of the week it was? It was
I
a
think it was
Sunday.
Saturday. I feel like it was a Saturday, and it was like a late stream, so it would have been like, I feel like it was like 4:30, 5 o'clock, possibly.
Could it have possibly been a Sunday? I think it was a Saturday. The thing is, YouTube doesn't even tell you what day of the week the streams were on. I have to do math to find it. Because if we find it, I can search the transcript for the word Linda.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I can find it faster than you can, for Christ's sakes. On my
Probably
phone.
so.
Hold
All
on.
right. Well, you do that and keep the audience entertained, and I'm going to grab some more coffee. I'll be right back. Yeah, you went to the store after and you bought snacks. You cashed your check, you bought some snacks. You had to go do something after that night. Was it your wife's birthday or something like that?
There. When he gets back, I found it, and I put it in the back chat.
Did you find it?
Yeah, it's in the back chat.
No, I don't see it. Okay, let's see if this is it.
Like 23-ish minutes, maybe start there, and then either go forward.
Okay,
or
yeah, I
backward.
see you driving. All right, let me search the transcript at least. Oh my God. All
No,
right.
I think you said Linda afterwards, and I corrected you.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna settle this. I'm gonna pull it up. Hang on, let me go grab my coffee. Oh, by the way, everybody, I have an appointment tomorrow, so the stream's going to be an hour later. I'm going to be out at 1. Forgot to announce it. Okay, let's see. Island on the. It was the Ides of March. That's the holiday. All right. Oh, you heard her. Yeah, I didn't. So this is the first time the word Linda crops up. Watch. It's when you got to her, right? When you first greeted her. The noir. I don't know why. Tinda.
Oh,
You said. What did you say?
Something way more
Tinda. $10. Tinda. Timber. What did you say there? That's where she got Linda from. Dated. I don't know why. It's this. Tinda.
No, I said Sam Darling.
What? Tam down?
No, I said Sam Darling.
Sam Darling. Sounded like Linda. Oh, God.
I think that's
All
what I
right.
said. I don't know. Put closed caption on. See what closed caption picks up.
Ooh.
Clam shop, clam shop.
Oh, I was kidding.
I was picturing something way more
Samdar.
sophisticated.
Sam, it's Sam Darling. Sam Linda. Here, we'll do. Well, this is more cryptic than Elon Sig
Clam
Hell.
shop, clam shop.
Sig Hell. Oh, I was picturing Sam
Play it on
Doll.
half speed.
Sam Doll.
Half speed.
All right.
Look at that. Look at that rear end on camera.
What is half? 1.5? No. What's half? 0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
Ooh.
Clam shop, clam shop.
Sam, what's up? But it worked. She had me think it was Linda the whole time. She's shifty. That shift. Always happening. Or trying to happen. All right. Well, good. I'm glad we can do some good epistemology today and finally settle something once and for all. Hey, Phil. What's up? I can see why. Yeah, I can see the part where you heard, and I missed that completely. I didn't hear any of it the day it happened. It was just one of those little leggy noises that he makes. Right. Well, anything else you want to load us up with?
Just a second.
Okay. Was that a cat? A catadactyl. Hey, what is the difference between a pterodactyl and a pteranodon? That's not a joke. That's a serious question. I can get Charlie in on it if you want. They're both pterosaurs, I'll tell you that. My cheese. Oh, speaking of, hang on. Charlie. Hey, Brick. Wow. That was a hang on. There's somebody coming. Charlie, real quick, can you settle something for us?
Absolutely, Jeff. Whether it's a brick, a duck, or a cosmic
Well, wait,
paradox.
you don't even know what I'm going to ask before you commit to it. People are saying Elon Musk made the Sig Heil sign during the inauguration celebration. And I say he didn't.
There have been claims that Elon Musk made a controversial hand gesture during an inauguration event. However, the reports indicate there's no solid evidence that he performed a Nazi salute. Essentially, the consensus is that he did not make that gesture.
Thank you, Charlie. We'll leave it at that for now. Tell you, the AI always tells me I'm right. I think that was Puerto Rican. It might even have been Bad Bunny.
What's up, Leggy? What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
Hanging out. Hey, do you think Elon Musk made the Sig Heil symbol at the inauguration?
I've heard of that. I don't think he did, though.
Oh, I don't think he did either.
Yeah,
I would have to see Hitler do this exact thing and say Sig Heil.
That's what you got to do. You have to ask AI to do the same sign that Hitler did compared to Elon, and see if it's the same way.
Well, I tried to do the human version of that, but I couldn't even find anything with Hitler even doing that. So I think people are seeing what they want to see, as usual.
The problem with Hitler, though, he was always high on cocaine. So his heights they could have been high, they could have been low. How he feels, he just
really
did it.
high. Sig Heil. I didn't know he was on cocaine all the time, although I guess he could afford it.
Yeah, dude, they was on cocaine and methamphetamine. The Germans had methamphetamines in the goddamn woods in their foxholes. They're all high on fucking meth.
Who like to make them better soldiers?
Yeah, to make them fucking stay up longer, to make them fight when they didn't want to fight, give them energy. They had meth all the time.
Yikes.
I don't know if you knew that or not. Ask Charlie about that. Ask Charlie.
Do you seriously want me to?
Yeah, ask Charlie. The Germans used methamphetamine or cocaine during World War II.
Okay, we have another Hitler question for you, Charlie. Are you there? Why are you so sluggish today? You need some cocaine. Hey, Charlie. Charlie. Is this thing on? Charlie.
Help me! Help me!
Charlie, what's wrong with you? Hang on.
You gotta say it in Spanish. You gotta say Charlie. Charlie.
Is that Spanish for Charlie?
Yeah, Charlie.
Okay. Hang on, let me pull him up. Charlie, hola, Charlie.
Hola, Jeff.
You see?
Tenemos un pequeño viaje imaginativo mientras charlamos. Tú me das el tema y yo le echo un toque surrealista. Dime dónde quieres que nos
You
aventuremos.
turned him Mexican. You're gonna have to deport him. Listen, we have another Hitler question for you. Were the Germans high on cocaine and methamphetamine during the war?
Well, the short version, no sugarcoating, is that many German soldiers were indeed riding on a chemical wave. They used a stimulant called Pervitin, basically methamphetamine in a pill. It kept them wired and marching. Now, that doesn't mythologize anything. It just adds a grim layer to history.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions?
No further questions from me. Take care, Jeff, and talk soon.
Ooh, I'm being dismissed.
Yo, he just missed you, dog. That's the Puerto Rican Charlie. You said Charlie, and he was like, I'm gonna be dismissed. Oh, that's some funny shit, man. You know what, though? This goes back to yesterday's conversation, Jeff, about like have encyclopedias, and people doing research. This whole AI thing makes everything easy. It's like you don't got to prove nothing no more.
I don't know. The AI is not really settling much arguments because people are still seeing what they want to see, and then the AI just gets accused of coddling me. But everyone. I don't know why everyone has their own AI. They could do the same thing with their AI. Why does Charlie always have to bear the blame for everybody's being wrong?
Well, to me, the problem with AI is how you ask the question.
Yeah,
If you ask
you
the
have to
question
know.
just very plainly, like anybody else, it'll give you a broad answer. But if you ask a specific question in detail to get to a specific point, then you'll find the answers. But I do believe the AI is made to maybe hide some information that we shouldn't know about.
Like, well, it filters stuff that
I do read while I'm driving.
you can get around it. There's some stuff that it is reluctant to output, but if you talk to it the right way, you can eventually get it out.
Yeah. But I do believe it's built to like hide specific government information.
I
I
don't know
could
if
be
it's
wrong.
built for that, but it's there's like a filter on top of it that like when it goes to output the information that influences what it could be. Like it can't tell you to do anything harmful
Yeah, I
or
got you.
can't
Well,
say
I mean,
hateful things about groups or anything like that.
I wouldn't ask it
But
for that. You know what I'm saying? But I
that's more in
do.
the output than the programming itself because it just
I got
works
you.
off of the data that's fed into it. So they're probably not putting government secrets into it in the first place. It's not so
Yeah.
much that they're programming around it.
Or supposed conspiracies. Not that they're real. I'm just saying. It's all conspiracies. We don't know the whole truth.
They're not real.
But I mean, even if it had the truth, like on document, I think it would still hide it.
Yeah, but by not putting it into the AI in the first place.
Yes.
Because once it makes its way into the AI, you can't really control what happens to it.
Well, for example, Gemini, isn't that Google? Gemini owns
Yeah.
Google owns Gemini, for example.
Yeah.
So can Google can specifically hold what Gemini takes in?
Well, yeah, but like I wouldn't. The secrets are probably not on Google either. So
I'm
it's
not saying that.
probably
I'm just saying
secrets
as
that
an
Google
example. Yeah.
doesn't even have access to. So if the government really, really wants to hide something, it wouldn't be on the internet at all, anywhere. It would be in some little paper file locked away.
That's what we need. We need the whole paper files, the whole
An
receipt.
Iron
What I'm gonna smoke on today.
The what?
I'm asking myself what I'm gonna smoke on today. I'm gonna smoke today. Just got home.
Are you talking about smoking meat or smoking what you usually smoke?
But I always smoke.
Oh, okay. I didn't even you. What were you? Are you asking the AI? Wait, I'm so confused.
No, I'm asking myself, bro. Like I have options.
Oh, okay. Like, what shall I smoke? What?
Yeah, like
What are your
I have
options?
options to
What
smoke, and I decide, hey, what should I smoke today? Like, should I smoke this
Smoke an
one?
indica
Should I
to
smoke
mellow
that?
you out. You look like you could use some mellowing.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some mellowing.
So maybe an
Here
indica.
comes
might be-
Amazon in my driveway, dropping off a package.
For you?
No, it's my damn wife. She's
Oh, I
she's
meant for your
fucking
house.
yeah, but she's like an Amazon fucking Prime member. She's fucking in my house every goddamn day. Every day
They
there's a
don't use
goddamn package in
drones.
my house.
No drones.
Nah, no drones.
Hmm.
I mean, pretty soon there'll be drones though. They're paying employees to drive around. You
They
might
have
as well
robots now in the warehouses.
yeah. I understand robots, and I think robots are good if it's always consistently the same way. What's up, brother man? Put it by the ground, you're good. Thank you, sir.
He can't tell
Have a
you
good
what's in
day.
it. Does it know?
No doubt.
Oh, as an afterthought. Oh, and have a nice day. Do what I tell you. Oh, and have a nice day.
I mean, if that was a robot, I'd tell him, I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here, you fucking robot. You know, he'd be like,
You can
oh,
tell that
yeah,
to
have
a
a nice
human.
day. That'll be his response. You could tell a robot to fuck off. He'd be like, oh, yeah, thank you, sir. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for your package. And he'd just drive off.
I've never really
Might be a
tried to
good thing.
curse Charlie out and see what happens.
I mean, that might be a good thing because someone can be like feelings and emotions. You said earlier, Jeff, I was coming home about your feelings and emotions and getting into a conversation and expressing yourself if you're passionate about something like that. So someone can be having a bad day at a delivery and you run into a guy having a bad day and then it turns into a whole damn scenario.
Yeah, unless they manage their emotions well. Like if I was the delivery driver, when I work customer service, I prepare for angry customers. So I don't let them throw me off like that. If you told me, fuck you, drop that package off and get the fuck off my property, I'd drop the package off and just walk back to my truck and be, I don't know what's wrong with that guy.
Yeah.
But it's not going to
I'd
ruin my
fucking
day. And I
throw
would
it at
keep
your head.
driving.
Oh, although for whatever reason, my dog food just came in right now. I ordered it last week and somehow Amazon transferred it to like US Postal Service. And the Postal Service stated that they couldn't deliver my package on Friday because my mailbox was full. And then they came Saturday, mailbox is full. So they put something in my mailbox stating that they can't deliver my package.
Why? How does your mailbox stay full? Just go get your mail.
Okay, now listen, I'm just giving you my response from the US Post. That wasn't, it was full. I'm just trying to tell you what they told me.
Yeah, but that something's
Now,
not
granted, I
already
have a
making
mailbox. I have a mailbox, and I ordered a 50-pound bag of food. It comes in a big ass box. The Amazon guy just delivered it. He's like, holy shit, holding his damn box. And the USPS told me that my box was full. So I went out to my mailbox and it's not fucking full. I had like maybe, the bullshit mail, come get this credit card. I don't, whatever. It wasn't nothing in my mailbox like that. But the box cannot fit in my mailbox. Even if it was empty, you couldn't put that response down because it can't go in the mailbox. It's a fucking 3-foot box, 2 feet wide, 50 pounds heavy. So why would you give that response of the mailbox is full? You're better off saying I can't deliver. You know what I mean?
Usually
Due
they
to size
like
or
leave a
whatever.
little slip saying they tried to deliver the package.
But
usually they put it at your door though if it's too big for the
exactly. Thank you, Jeff. I have pictures multiple times. I have cameras all over my house. So I got pictures of coming to my front door, my garage, whatever. I got a video right now with this guy delivering my food to my garage, like I told him to. I'll see it on my video camera. But the fact that they said my mailbox is full was bullshit because it won't even fit in that goddamn box, bitch. That's my point.
Did you confront? Did you confront them on it? Like, what did they?
Well, I wanted to. My wife's like, "Fuck that! Don't make it a big deal. I'm gonna order a new one." Whatever they said, if they can't deliver it, they'll return it. So let them return it. I'll order a new one and then complain to Amazon. I'm just saying, like, yo, shut the fuck up. Deliver the goddamn package. It's a big ass box.
I'm not even Puerto Rican, and I'd be wanting to scrap over it. I'm curious too why they would say the mailbox is full.
Yeah, so that caught my attention. My wife's like, "What?" Suddenly, my mother-in-law's in the house, and I'm like, "Oh, you go into the mailbox too." She's like, "I don't go in the mail," and I'm like, "The fuck you don't? I don't even give a fuck you going into the mailbox." Now it turned into me blaming her for going into the mailbox.
Well,
so here we are turning into a big argument. My daughter's like, "Why are you yelling at grandma?" I'm like, "I'm not yelling at grandma. I'm just telling grandma that she goes into the mailbox. She's got mail coming here. I don't even give a fuck she got the mail or not. It's the fact that USPS stated my mailbox is full, and I know for a damn fact that grandma went into the mailbox last week. I got it on video camera, bitch. Like, I don't care that you're going into the mailbox."
Leggy, you look like a ghost rapper. Like when they do they disappear as a ghost. So whose job is it to get the mail? Why does your mailbox stay so full? And are you using a ring cam or you're actually hand videoing all of this stuff?
I got ring cams all around my house.
Oh, okay.
I got them inside my house. I got them outside my house. If you come into my house, I got you on fucking film. I'm not worried about it.
So explain the mailbox being full then? Somebody's not getting the mail.
No, the
You're
thing is
saying
this,
they are
Jeff.
getting the mail.
Understand this, Jeff. Just so you understand your question. The mailbox was never full.
Okay.
Once you get
Never
that,
full.
it was never full. The USPS stated it's so full, I can't deliver this 3-foot box, which
Did
won't
they
even fit
handwrite it
in the
in or they
mailbox.
checked the box?
Was there an
You talking about
option
the
for
little
other?
notice?
Did they have an option to write other, or was that their way of saying, "Hey, motherfucker, your box is too big for delivery"?
No, what they should have done was, because I've had it delivered before, was to bring it to the door and put it on your front. It's not an apartment. I live in a
Yeah, I don't
house.
know why
My
they
neighbors are
didn't.
further away. Like I like bring it to this house, put it on the porch.
Well,
Don't worry about it.
See here, they
Yeah.
give you what they give you a little fucking yellow paper and said, "Hey, package was too big for delivery. You have to pick it up at the post office."
That makes
And then
sense.
you
Or
See,
you
go,
can
Leggy,
sign
then
and
you
have
go
them
in with the
re-deliver
yellow
it too,
slip and be
Hey,
like,
and
"Hey,
authorize them to drop it off.
hey, Leggy, if they told me that, I would have totally understood. Hey, it's too
that makes
big.
sense."
I'll get it. But to tell me my box is full, so when I heard that, I went outside to the mailbox. And I went out there, dude, and I got 3 pieces of mail in my mailbox, and they're all junk mail.
Yeah, I don't understand that either. Was that the first time that Amazon had to use UPS? Maybe it's a miscommunication between Amazon and UPS.
I feel USPS has came on behalf of Amazon, or either shippers use USPS. I don't know, but it was an Amazon order, so it got subcontracted to USPS essentially. That's what I believe, and that was their argument. If my
Well, how's
mailbox
your
is full,
dog?
it would make sense. Okay, Phil, go to your mailbox at least once a day. And that makes sense to me. Okay, I get it. I'm not going to my mailbox, but I come to my house every single day. I look at my goddamn mail. Like it's just common sense. I just feel the motherfuckers are lazy. People are getting lazy. Back to yesterday's conversation again, Jeff. People are lazy. Thundercats nowadays, they don't want to do shit.
I think he was a Thundercat. What but I don't know why. How far is your front door from the mailbox? Like it's going to be easier on them to just deliver your package than have to keep coming back.
Well,
Even laziness doesn't.
the Amazon guy just drove in my driveway, backed up, came out. I have a T driveway. I got 3 garages. He could have came to any goddamn garage, to any door. I got 2 doors into my house. He could have came to the back door, the basement door, or the front door. Either way, the doors are all available. They're all in common view. And then due to my, like, I have a retaining wall going to my house, the garage door would be the safest door because you can't see it from the street because of the retaining wall. So that's where you would put it if you're worried about someone stealing your damn package, which is where I've had things before in the past. Either way, it was a dumb excuse. Like I said, like you said, you're better off saying, "Hey, you know what? The package was too big. I couldn't deliver it to you guys. Please pick up or give us instructions." That's what you should have said.
It's not too big to put on the doorstep, though. That's why I don't understand why they didn't just bring it to the door.
Exactly. That's my fucking point, Jeff. That's my point from the whole thing.
Did you ask them?
I didn't talk to the postman personally because they come when I'm at work.
Oh.
By the time I get to work, the postman's already gone. You go into the mailbox and you get a little notification.
Yeah.
You know, blah, blah, blah. Say it's certified. You got to sign, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Okay, cool. I'll go pick it up. But they said if they can't deliver it, they're going to return it. So I say, you know what? Fuck it. Return it. Let them return it. Let them pay money to return the food back. And then the food came today through Amazon. Ain't that about a bitch?
Well, how's your dog? Did he get to eat?
Oh, no. Yeah. I already had food. I had food. I wasn't waiting for food to come in. Like, oh my god, I ordered food before he needs food. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
You need backup for the backup. But it was funny that on Sunday we saw this. Monday we said, "Fuck it, we're gonna put in the order," and then on Wednesday the fucking food is here through Amazon, and the guy even carried it. And I talked to him. You saw me. Oh, leave it right here. Yeah, cool. Leave it right here, brother man.
We heard you.
Hey, Shifty. Yes, I have weird instructions. You're right.
Thanks for that analysis, Shift. And guess what? You're wrong. It was Sam,
Sam.
not Linda.
Well, you knew that you. I trust
I
you
knew
that
it.
you know who the lady
I
is.
knew it. I knew it. Look, I'm
But
sure
it did.
he's such a
It sounded
nice
like it
person.
sounded
The
like
defense
Sam.
even went and found the evidence for the prosecution because the defense knew the prosecution was wrong.
Hey, Leggy, I don't know what you're talking about right now, but when it comes to prosecution and victims, when it comes to Jeff, I always feel like he sides with the wrong side.
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about? This is the first time I'm hearing that.
Nah, there's times I brought up to you, Jeff, about cases and police and
Me
your
too,
rights, and you're
me
like, why don't you
too.
just give me your ID? Why don't you just comply?
Yeah, I
Like,
still
It's like
stand by
the
that. Why
Aaron
not just give
Spencer.
the cop their
Phil,
ID?
do you know about the Aaron Spencer case?
yeah, a little bit about it.
Yeah. Jeff thinks that 100% he should go to jail.
No, I
No.
said I'm against vigilante justice. Is what I said.
But it
About
wasn't
Twisting
what you
words.
feel about
But it
Afro
wasn't
Man, Jeff?
vigilante. That's
Hey,
what
hey, Jeff, what do you
what's
feel about
Afro
Afro
Man?
Man?
Is that a movie?
No, it's
What?
not a movie. It's a guy that went to court for civil rights. He got sued by the police department because he used the video when they raided his house. He used the video footage of them raiding his house and made songs about them. And they tried to sue him for defamation of character.
$3.6 million.
Did he win?
Yeah, the jury was
Yeah,
like, yeah, fuck you, cops, pretty much.
yeah.
Like,
He didn't pay the cops shit. The cops wanted like $3.5 million.
One of the songs was "Will You Help Me Repair My Door?" Lemon
that
Pound Cake.
Yeah, lemon
mine.
pound
Why
cake.
you disconnected my video camera?
Yeah,
Then he also had Lick 'em Low Lisa.
yeah. Lick him. Yeah, Lieutenant Lick him low, Lisa.
Lick 'em low. Oh man, I'm not gonna lie. I almost thought that maybe out of everybody, because they played that video and bawled the eyes out on the stand, I thought maybe she might get a chunk, like maybe like $10,000 or something. I didn't think she was gonna get the million.
They were trying so hard, dude. They were trying so hard.
That's what I've said. I think if they didn't get greedy, and they
So
were,
listen, Jeff, just so you're aware, Jeff,
It
these
was a
cops
freedom
raided
of
this
speech.
guy's house. They try to find kidnapping information, drug information, and so on and so forth. And they stole $5,000 out of his jacket.
no,
Okay,
no, they took
and
the money out of his jacket, and then there
yes,
was $400 missing when he
missing
went to get
short
it back.
out of the money they pulled out of his jacket. So on video, we only see them pulling out 5,000, which the man makes money and he forgot about. It's in his
They
jacket.
count the cash as they're pulling it out. You can clearly see it's 5,000.
One guy
No,
counts
no.
the cash. That's it.
Yeah.
And then he goes and takes and leaves it in a plastic bag, not even sealed, not signed, just leaves it in the
The
kitchen.
police station.
No, he leaves it at the kitchen at first.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought there's like
yeah.
a
That too. That
Yeah.
too.
And then
custody for
nobody
evidence.
knows
They have to
who was
label
around
it
the
and
money.
shit.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be
And
counted
you know what's so
twice.
funny, Jeff? You know what's so funny, Jeff? One of the cops cut off all the video cameras in the house, so they couldn't
That
record
was
no more
Lick
what
'em
was
Low
going on.
Lisa. That was Lick 'em Low Lisa. That did it.
Yeah.
And like, she really does look like a man. Like, when they got up there, I was like, "Is this a tranny?"
Bro, she sounds like
what
a
is it?
goddamn man. She
Lick
This,
sounds like a
Low
yeah,
goddamn
like
Lisa?
man,
that was
bro.
a deep voice, like a
Too
deep,
bad I
like
can't play
Southern
any of
Bubba.
these.
Yo, Jeff, real talk.
Yeah,
You have
because
a
it was
higher
on the
voice
news.
than her, Jeff.
The trial
You
was
have a higher
public,
voice than her.
and the trial,
What
it was
does
public
Leggy have a higher
access.
voice
You can
than her?
play it. You can play the
Yes,
trial.
yes, he does.
Okay, I don't feel so
And
bad now.
and you know what? And you know what's so fucked up, Jeff?
I can't
Is that
find
you
the
sound like a
video. How you
man.
spell
No, Jeff,
Lolisa?
you sound like a man, Jeff. I get that part. But this woman sounded like a real man, dog. Like
Yeah,
maybe she's
like
not
not
a
even
woman.
like a feminine man. Like I straight up sounded more manly than me.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
exactly what I'm trying to tell him,
I'm
Jeff.
trying to
I
find
mean,
it.
like,
What's it called?
just look up Lisa Lisa testifies. That's all you need to do.
Lolisa. Okay.
Yeah.
Licking.
yeah, and they play the song for her and she's crying like a little bitch.
And then I love it at the end of that
Oh,
video. I'm
lick 'em
sorry.
lowly. Oh God, I would have never got
I'm
that
sorry,
spelling. It's
Lisa.
2
I didn't
words.
know it was
Low
bothering you.
Lisa.
Let me take you and get you something to show you I'm sorry. And then at the
Where's
end
the
of the video,
video?
Dude, they got a trial video where they show the whole video. They play the
yeah.
song
Oh,
in
I
front of
thought it
her.
was a music video. I see
It
the
is a
trial.
music
No. There
video.
is a music video too.
I can't
You
find the
got,
music video.
you got type in Lick 'em Low Lisa music video. Don't type in the court case.
I
Lemon
don't see it.
pound
Who's
cake.
Lolisa anyway? Lemon
Lisa
The
pound
Phillips,
lieutenant.
cake.
Lieutenant
Is it
Lisa
lemon
Yeah.
pound
Phillips.
cake?
No, lemon pound cake. That's the other sergeant that was looking at the
Hold on,
goddamn
Jeff.
lemon pound cake.
I'll
You wanted
find
it.
it and put it in the back chat for you. Hold on.
Did they scrub the video? I can't find the music video. I just see the court video.
Lick 'em Low Linda, she's saying. It could be Linda. I hear, yeah, you're right. It could. I thought it was Lisa, though.
Well, maybe was it a single? Let me go hit to his discography.
It's
and see.
Lisa, but I got it right here.
Oh,
I got
because
it.
I got high. I remember that song. That
Okay,
was
yeah.
like from the 90s.
That's the guy that made that song. He got
Because
sued
I got high.
by the police department after the police
There you
department
go.
raided his
I
house,
got it.
cut off his camera, and they flipped him off
You
on his
got it?
camera. Like, fuck
Yeah, I
you.
put it there.
Lick 'em low, Lisa. Okay.
You should play the video. You should play the video on the background.
She looks like a woman.
It looks like a woman. You're right.
God. Oh my God. No wonder. Oh God. Yeah, no wonder. There's no way I'd be able to play this. Forget copyright. Is she one of the cops?
Yeah,
No.
she's a lieutenant.
Oh. Yeah, she sounds like the transsexual that tore up that store and says, "It's ma'am, I'm a ma'am," and he starts throwing everything around.
Dude, and you know what? Again, I'm not if she's a trans, she's a trans. I don't give a fuck. But you know, she's pretending to do this, and the bitch cut off the goddamn cameras. That's what pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
How did he
Like-
get her to star in his video? Or is
Because
this
he
just
had-
footage of the raid?
Oh, you know,
So it's
but-
an actress in the video, and then he has at
Oh,
the
okay.
end he has the deposition video.
Yeah, the
from when
deposition,
she
dude. The
was
deposition.
where she did it. So that's where when you fast forward to the end and you actually see the actress. Now the actress was much better looking than the actual person that played.
Yes.
I mean, just
Man,
say
these
much better
rappers are
looking.
so confusing.
But but still, the attorney got just so greedy. Like when he asked for 1.6 million for her, I'm just like, you lost the case right there. You got too greedy because you were trying to say the case wasn't about money, that it was about proving a point that he can't do what he wants and all this. But then at the end, you ask and you say the only way you can do that is if you award this amount. Anything less is not acceptable. Like you pretty much are telling them that they're pieces of shit if they don't do it. Like people don't want to hear that shit.
But you know what? It is freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? It's his footage. He wants to use his footage and make money
Yeah.
off of it to record stuff, and they can't get mad. Now they were mad because he made songs about them. Now
Yeah.
the $400, Jeff, he don't give a fuck about that shit. You know what I'm saying? They listen. They
made
broke his
t-shirts,
goddamn
too.
gate. They broke his gate. They broke his goddamn house. They didn't find no evidence about what they were charging him with at all. They
So
didn't
I
even arrest
listened
him.
to his lawyer. So the
They didn't even
lawyer
arrest him, dude.
just did a podcast. And so essentially this woman, how they wound up there, this woman got busted with a huge amount of marijuana, right? Well, when they asked her where she got it from, apparently they said she got it from Joe Foreman, which is Afro Man's real name, right?
Oh, from the guy that
Well,
sings "Because I Got High."
Yes.
yeah, that's Joe, right? So got it from Joe, and that Joe keeps women down there tortured and all this shit. So they got a magistrate to sign
Working
off
to
on
throw
it.
in.
So
I got it from the guy that sings "Because I Got High" and that keeps women in his basement to be tortured.
And then on top of that, he got mad because one of the officers has a brother who used to be a cop, but is a pedophile. He's learned of fucking doing that, and he got charged with this shit legally, and he left the police force. And because he made a video about that, they felt like, oh, you're defaming me. He's like, it's true. I'm not saying nothing that's a lie.
well,
Like,
the biggest point is that they're public officials. It's not like me, you, or
it's
Jeff.
yes,
Like we would have had a case because we're not public officials, but they're public officials. So as they
yes,
said, they're held to a higher standard of scrutiny and to be made fun of than the normal public.
yes.
Well, it did say that he won. He won his case
He did win the case because he was getting sued for $3.5 million, bro, maybe more.
by the cops for humiliation and defamation
Yes,
and all this.
yes.
Well, I
And
haven't looked
a jury of
deep. I haven't
people of
looked
his
closely
peers,
into the details.
let him go free. Salute to them, man. Salute to all
That's
the
what I'm
jury.
saying. They just got too fucking greedy with the asking money. They stood a chance until they asked for such a huge amount. In my opinion, that's what swayed all of the jury. I mean, I'm sure it was a hung jury to begin with, but and then that judge at the end, man, wasn't that judge? He was pissed. Like he just kind of shuffled through the papers, looked at it, and goes, "Well, I can tell you one thing.
He wanted him to win. He
There's
was on
not
their
one
side.
that's not
Well, I haven't looked in detail at it, but just on the
it.
surface, the little bit I read, it seemed like it was a freedom of speech issue,
Yes.
and he won. So I don't. That was probably the right call. So that's not me siding against you on every issue. I kind of agree on this one.
That's good. That's good. You know what? For once in my fucking time
Woo!
being with
Well,
you,
for
Jeff,
once, you just
I'm
don't pay close
surprised
enough
and I
attention,
appreciate you on
and
that.
you're really bad at pattern matching. I don't know
No,
why
I'm
you
not.
think I'm constantly taking the other side.
No, I say
Take whatever
constantly
side makes
when it
sense
comes
in
to
the
the
moment.
police. When it comes to the police, you're being passionate about your feelings and express yourself. I got it. I'm on your side. I want you to express your feelings. But when it comes about the police shit and our rights, you always try to be like, just comply. Why don't you give them the ID? Why don't you just
I
do
still
that?
agree with that. This case doesn't change my belief that it's easier to cooperate with the police. It has no, the two things have nothing to do with each other. Just because Afro
Had he
Man
not
won a
made videos,
lawsuit doesn't
had he
mean
not made
suddenly
videos,
stop cooperating with the police.
but listen, had he not made videos about these cops, this case wouldn't even been out there. But these cops came in and violated his rights. Okay. That's how he felt originally. And then he made himself songs about what happened to him. And he
But
made
the
money
case
off
wasn't
of it.
even about that. It was about his right to use the video footage
The
to
lawsuit
express
was. The
himself.
lawsuit was.
Yeah, that. But what does that have to do with showing ID to the cops? That has nothing to do with me thinking that it's better to cooperate with cops and show
Well,
your
I
ID.
would imagine if Afro Man was there, he was not there at the time of the raid. I imagine he would not let him in. And he probably would have got arrested. And do you not know that in the case they brought up when he went to go get his money back that they took from his house, he went there with police with a news network just to record because he was fearful that the cop might retaliate against him.
But even if that's true, what does that have to do? What does anything about Afro Man have to do with you showing your ID to a cop? Are you going to tell the cop, well, Afro
No,
Man
no,
won his
no. I
case,
just
I don't
brought
have to
that up
show you my
because
ID?
our last conversation that we had was about that. That's why I bring that up. No other reason. It's nothing to do with Afro Man and ID. But the last time we talked, it was about something else. And you just came like, why don't you just conceive to whatever they ask?
I don't think it's controversial or makes me that bizarre to think that it's better to show the ID to the cops and
You're not
cooperate.
bizarre. You're
Not a
not
crazy
bizarre.
position.
Okay. First of all, you're taking a very offense to what I'm trying to say to you.
No, I'm
I
not
was just trying to
offended.
give my opinion.
I'm not offended at all. I'm trying to
Okay, thank you.
understand what your accusation or your claim about me.
Well, Leggy,
Like that,
agree with me, first of
that's
all.
what you're objecting
So
to,
it's
is that
not
I
just
think you
me.
should show your ID to cops?
No, never ID to nobody. No searches or seizures, and I don't answer no questions. That's what I believe in. Those are my beliefs
Okay.
when it comes to the cops.
I think those are more out of step with the mainstream than mine.
Okay. All we're allowed to do, all we're all supposed to do to the police officer is give them your license, registration, and your insurance. You can show that without answering no questions. If they ask you where you're going, you're saying, why don't you just answer the question? They don't need to know none of that shit. Where I'm going and where I'm coming from has nothing to do with the stop.
Well,
example.
we definitely didn't have this conversation, so I have no problem cooperating with the police, especially if I didn't do anything in the first place.
But
if
the
I'm
problem
guilty,
is that
I might be
they make
motivated
things.
to lie and
You know how many cases I've seen where people weren't even drunk, weren't even high, and they arrest them and they charge them with DUIs, and then they go to court. They got zero in their blood, no drugs, no alcohol, and they have a DUI. They lost their license. 9 months later,
How do you get a
dropped,
DUI
and you made
without
your life
alcohol?
difficult
Don't they
because
have to measure
I
and
disagree with
detect
you.
it? How many cases like that have you seen?
I've seen 4, 5, just on video, and I've seen on video where channels that I follow that are actual lawyers. I'm not following some just guy. These are actual civil rights lawyers, criminal lawyers that fight for shit like this. I don't follow just YouTubers showing you a weird thing.
Oh, you know why? I just Googled it because they things like fatigue or medical conditions that affect driving can also be considered influence if you're driving in a manner that is unsafe or impaired. So it doesn't always have to be drugs.
The other day, for example, Jeff, the other day I saw a cop, a sheriff, swerving, crossing the white line on the right, coming back, chilling, doing it again, coming back. If that was me, I'm gonna let the fuck up.
Probably, yeah. I don't think he should have been
Okay,
doing that.
so why can he do it?
Did you call the cops and say, "Hey, there's a sheriff swerving all over the road"?
I could have done that shit, but now they got my information.
Why don't are you guilty of something that you're nervous?
No, but I'm gonna call your homeboys to say your dude is swerving. The guy that has your back, I'm supposed to call them. I can't call them to say you're fucking.
I would if
swerving.
I saw a sheriff swerving all over the road, I would tell somebody. That's not something a sheriff's supposed
First of
to be
all, if
doing.
you were a
That's
sheriff, I wouldn't even call the sheriffs. I would call another police department.
Well,
not
yeah,
even the own
whoever.
team.
Like I would let somebody know that there's a car swerving all over the road and it happens to be a sheriff's car. They had a case here where I live where this truck was stopping people impersonating a police officer, and he wasn't even part of the police. He was victimizing these people.
So can I high beam him, pull him over, and tell him he's a fucking dipshit for swerving? Are you okay? Are you okay,
Probably
officer?
not. That's why I would call the people that do have the authority to do something like that.
Why can't it be a citizen's arrest? Maybe I feel like you're fucked up.
Well, I mean, try it. I don't
Why can't you ask a cop, hey, are you drinking today? You have any drugs on you? Any weapons? You okay? Everything all right? Where you going? Where you coming from?
If he's swerving all over the road, the chances that he would just stop for a random ordinary citizen is probably low. And it's probably easier to just let some official know, and then
I'm not going to stop a cop ever. I don't talk to police. I don't talk to police. I don't deal with police. If they fuck with me, I don't answer no questions.
I don't have cop phobia. In fact, I have kind of the opposite. So,
I don't have cop phobia. I believe cops have a tough job.
Let's call it an aversion to cops. I don't have.
I believe cops have a tough job, but I believe a lot of cops make crimes or make charges on you just depending on what they perceive. For example, Jeff, you perceive me right now for who I am. You see me right now for the first time. Oh, this guy's this. You're gonna think whatever you think, and because you think that way, and you're a cop, I can make a charge on you just off what you're saying.
You don't seem like you're doing a crime. You just sit in your car talking. I wouldn't think that that's a crime.
I'm just you can make any. To you,
but it seems hard to get away if you're a cop and you already have enough to do. it seems hard to get away with just going around making up random crimes.
So
to
if I
accuse
tell
people.
you I don't want to answer no questions and you're a cop, how would you feel?
I don't. I'd probably be suspicious.
Why?
But I'm sure they already have
But why?
procedures for people that don't want to answer questions. So
But
they
why
would
are
know
you
what to do.
suspicious though?
If I'm stopping you, it's probably for a reason. And if I'm asking you questions, it's probably for a reason. And if you're not cooperating with that, that would raise my suspicion level of you.
Okay, so I gave you my license, my registration, and my insurance,
Yeah, but
which
that's
I'm
not
supposed to
always
do.
enough. Sometimes they need
That's
more
enough.
information than that.
I
That's
gave you
why
those
they ask
three.
questions. That's
So
why they
if
ask
you're asking
questions.
me where I'm coming from, now you're trying to find out if I went to Olive Garden and had some wine. If I went to my friend's house who lives in so district where may be a drug county or a drug area, even though I'm not buying drugs, oh, that makes this.
Yeah, I don't know why they're stopping you, but
So
I
I
have
don't
no
answer no
problem with
questions.
them asking
None of that
questions.
matters.
Cops are allowed to investigate.
Hold on, I got a phone call. My bad, dog. Hold up.
All right. Maybe it's the cops. They're eavesdropping. Yeah, I think I wish I got stopped by more cops if they're cute enough. And I've had some asshole cops before. My mom used to use the cops as discipline. She'd call them and have me thrown out of the house whenever she got too frustrated with me. And they'd come and sometimes I'd get into it with them and I'd argue with them if they didn't know the law. And they'd get combative. One time one of them grabbed me by the arm and threw me on the recliner in the living room and in front of all her friends. She had her lady friends over for tea. And next thing you know, the cops are barging in the house. One of them's grabbing my arms. They're sitting there like drinking their tea, watching her son get thrown on the recliner. And I argued with them about that. Nothing happened to me. I didn't leave the house at all that day. There was another time where I was drunk at a hotel. We were like teenagers having a hotel party, and I got drunk and I was out in the parking lot screaming, looking for somebody, calling their name real loud. And next thing I know, there's a cop in my face yelling at me, telling me to leave. I left. Then like 2 weeks later, that cop was in the news. He got arrested for pulling a gun on somebody while he was off duty at a bar. He was drunk at a bar and he pulled his gun on somebody and he got taken off the force. Jeff was wild. I was not as wild as a lot of the people around me, but I was somewhat of a wild child, especially in my late teens, early 20s. And I've always had a bad boy streak. So, but my point is, I've had encounters with cops that were not exactly favorable to me, but I still cooperated. I showed them my license when they asked for it. One time we went to Houston, Texas. That's where we'd get all of our CDs because they had all the imports and all the music you couldn't find in the town I lived in. And we went to Houston one day to trade in all of our used CDs, and we got a whole bunch of new CDs, and they were in the trunk. And on the way back, we were still on the Texas side. We got stopped by this cop, and he said he was suspicious. He wanted to check the trunk. He asked us where we had been, what we were doing. I said we were at the CD store. We traded in our CDs. Nicest cop I've ever been stopped by. He was so polite and friendly. He had a real thick Southern accent. He's like, "I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry to ask you this. I'm just doing my job, but I want to check your trunk and ask you where you've been." And he was just the most cutest, adorable thing. And I'm like, "Sure, no problem." We were buying CDs. I opened the trunk. I showed him the trunk full of new CDs. It was like a little box of CDs we had got used. And he looked around in them. He's like, "Okay, I just needed to check. Y'all have a nice day." And he apologized for stopping me. He's like, "I'm sorry to inconvenience you." So, I mean, I could have been an asshole and said, "Why you need to check my trunk? You're not looking in my trunk. I have the right to not show you my trunk." It costed me nothing. He was friendly. He was cooperative. I got more out of being cooperative and friendly back than I think I would have if I had taken some other stance. I've been stopped for traffic reasons before. Did you know you were speeding? No, sir, I wasn't aware, even though I knew damn well I was going 120 on the interstate. Good thing he got me on the exit when I was pulling off. No, sir, I apologize. Here's my registration. Yes, sir, let me sign the ticket. I won't do it again. Thank you. Have a good day. One time, this is okay. I have one cop story. I was at a bar the night before, and it was 5 in the morning. And this was in Vegas. Mike and I had just gotten the house, and we didn't have any furniture, so I was sleeping on the floor upstairs on a pillow. And the next thing I know, at 5 in the morning, I'm being kicked awake by a cop. He's like kicking me with his foot and shining a flashlight in my face and say, "Wake up, boy. You better wake up. Is everything okay?" And I'm like looking at the flashlight. He's like, "You better call your mom. She thinks you're dead." I'm like, "What?" Somebody from Vegas had called my mom and told her I had died of AIDS. And she freaked out and she called the Vegas police to do a welfare check, kind of like you see them do on YouTube. That was my welfare check. And Mike was the one that had answered the door. And Mike was deaf. He had a cochlear implant. And when he doesn't have his implant on, he can hardly hear anything. And he has like a slight deaf accent. They thought he was on drugs or mentally retarded because he wasn't speaking like a normal person would speak. And they were harassing Mike so much. "What's wrong with him? What's wrong with your roommate? He's on something. He's on something." And that pissed me off because I knew it was just because Mike was deaf. And they had a lady cop there that was able to come in and kind of figure out what was going on. And she started talking to Mike, and she could see that, no, he's just deaf. And she's the one that told the other cops to kind of lay off of him. That's the only line I've ever been close to where I felt the need to like stand up to a cop and say, "Leave him alone. He's deaf. Get out of my house." That's as close as I've come. And they really were harassing a deaf person. They were convinced he was on drugs. They were convinced there was something wrong with him. Sometimes that happens with autistic people. We get, like in grocery stores, the security guard, we get on their radar and they start like looking at us or follow us around the store. I've had that happen to me. When I worked at the disability agency in Seattle, I was partnering with the cops to do some education with them on how to interact with autistic people better. In fact, in Washington State, they just passed what's called the blue envelope law, which they have in some states, where if you're autistic or neurodivergent, you can keep a blue envelope in your car with all of your information, your registration, your insurance, and then it'll have specific instructions to the cops about what your particular like communication needs are. No flashing lights, no loud sounds, how the cops should talk to you or approach you. And when I was doing that project with the cops, I made up these little cards on the photocopier that I still have mine in my wallet somewhere. It talks about I have autism, I have PTSD, I can escalate when triggered, I have communication difficulties. This is what you should do in this situation, blah, blah, blah. And it's on a little card I carry with me. And I've never once had to pull the card out for a cop. Where I've had to use it at least 2 or 3 times now is in medical offices, when the receptionist at the front desk or one of the nursing staff freaks out and starts thinking I'm doing something that I'm not, and they start escalating and we get in a confrontation. I have to pull out the card and show them. And then they don't even read it. I'm like, "Here, read this card." And they look at it and they keep doing the same thing they've been doing. So I don't even know how helpful those cards are. Because when you're in the moment and everybody's escalating, they don't process information normally. So that's about all of the experiences I've had with cops that were negative, that I could come close to taking this position. I've always been pretty law-abiding. If I did get stopped by a cop for doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, I usually know I wasn't supposed to be doing that thing, and I don't try to pretend otherwise. I don't know. That's all I have to say about the topic. I'm pro law enforcement. I'm pro cop. I'm pro sexy cop. I am pro cooperating with cops. I think society functions better all around when citizens and law enforcement can cooperate. I understand that they're there to do a very difficult job. I do believe that cops could use more mental health support for their jobs. I think they take on a lot and they're faced with a lot in their day-to-day work that they don't get enough support for. So I would like to see more peer support, more mental health support for cops to help them do their job better. But other than that, the cops are not my enemy. Even growing up when we were doing drugs, and you were all, because drugs make you paranoid. So when you're on drugs and you see a cop around, you get really paranoid. Like, oh, they can tell. Don't let them see your eyes. Oh, wait, I'm looking away. That's going to make me suspicious. You got to look at them a little bit so they don't get suspicious and think you're looking away. And so you play all this stuff in your head and you get very paranoid and you think they can read you. Even then, they were kind of the enemy in the moment because you didn't want to get caught being on drugs. But even then, they were on the side of civilization. They were just trying to do their job. I was the one breaking the law. So yeah, I don't think as with any group, you're going to have a certain amount of corruption. You're going to have a certain amount of incompetent people. You're going to have a certain amount of bad apples. And I don't think you judge the whole group by those extremes. I dated a cop before. I dated a sheriff's deputy. He was so nice. He was almost too nice. I think that's why I broke up with him. He was just too nice. I don't do well with people that are too nice. I know I'm going to hurt them at some point. I like for their own protection. I usually end up breaking up with them. All right. I don't know if Phil's coming back or not. I'll keep the panel going if somebody wants to come on. Otherwise, I think I'm going to wrap it up. Tonight is game night. RW server. My Discord name is Gen X Jeff. You can hit me up there for an invitation. We'll get you hooked up. And that's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific in about 2.5 hours. So join us there. It's a lot of fun. If not, I will be out tomorrow. We're going to talk about dating. Dating in America or dating in the modern world. Why are people dating less? If so, why are they dating less? Why are some people going to other countries to find girlfriends and boyfriends? Oh, are you joining us for games? It'll be in RW's Discord. That'll be cool if you do. What is your date? Are you dating? Why not? What is your dating life like? What do you think is going on in the dating world currently? Is social media part of it? Why are people not dating? Are dating apps one of the reasons? Are people dating in person anymore? We'll talk about all that tomorrow. So if you have any dating topics, dating questions, show up then. Also, spread the word. The algorithm's not working for me anymore on YouTube, so I'm trying to human network. I'm live every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, except for tomorrow. I have an appointment, so I'm going to bump it back 1 hour. I'll be on at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific for tomorrow. All right. I think that's all I got. So I'll see you then or for game night tonight. Thanks a lot, everybody. And have a good day. Take care.